What's up guys, this is your favorite fanfic YouTuber, the Fanfic Majesty, and welcome to another amazing video. You can follow me on Patreon for exclusive stories. 10 Ag. Chapter 226 General Aokiji. Win. Haha, Luffy said with a naive look on his face. Kang's voice had a sense of urgency. Hurry up and get the pirate flag to end it. Luffy. He always had a feeling that it was not a good place to stay for a long time. The announcer's voice was full of excitement and disbelief. The pirate flag. Once they capture the pirate flag, it means they don't have the partners they want. It also means the end of the game. This is simply a shame. Despicable. This is our glory. Kang didn't bother to pay attention to the explanation about the mummy being bandaged. However, when Luffy's words rang out, his head began to hurt. No, I'm going to beat that split-head guy off. I promised Uncle, I must beat him away. Here it comes. Here it comes. The wayward Luffy is here. Luffy's words made Kang constipated, and at the same time, he also broke the defense of another person. Fox lay on the ground with a sad look on his face. That's right. Straw Hat Luffy, I read you right. We have to continue the game. Kang turned to look at Luffy and asked a key question. Then do you want a shipwright? Sanji, heart, Gina. Kang's words made Luffy pout. He always felt that the shipwright here was not the guy he was waiting for. No, Luffy raised his hand and shouted. I have decided, I want all your treasures. In this scene, Nami was ecstatic, looking like, you have grown up. After Luffy finished speaking, he was full of fighting spirit. In the last battle, I want your pirate flag. Unbelievable, incredible speech. Faced with Straw Hat Boy's declaration, what will the captain do? The commentator shouted vigorously, bringing the atmosphere to a climax. Fox, who was lying on the ground, laughed angrily. Okay, very good. You kid, are you looking down on me? You're blatantly asking for my pirate flag. Treasure, right, Pochi, give them all the treasure. The final battle, let's decide the outcome. Straw Hat. At this time, Luffy and Usopp went to the dressing room, while Kang took Chopper shopping casually. However, Kang's worried look made the always sensitive Robin a little concerned. Soon after, the Mercrow and the southward bird returned. Kang stretched out his arm, and the moment the Dark Crow landed, it gestured vigorously at its owner, accompanied by a unique cry. Dark Crow said they found the target, in that direction. Chopper translated. Really coming. Kang patted Chopper on the head and handed him a candied apple, his thoughts changing rapidly. A shadow clone with 50% chakra appeared quietly and disappeared into the sea of people. Whoosh whoosh. Kang's shadow clone suddenly stopped. At this time, a tall man stood in the tent in front of Kang's shadow clone. He wore a white suit vest, a dark blue shirt, white trousers, medium-length black curly hair, and a green eye patch, but his head was facing the direction of the game. This man is the general whose single-player combat power is comparable to that of the four emperors and one of Marine's three top combat powers, Aokiji Kuzan. It's just, Lu. It seemed like he was sleeping. Of course, Kang didn't dare to underestimate this lazy guy. 3 shurikens were swung out from Kang's hands and landed in front of Kuzan. As for letting Kang get closer, he didn't dare. You are a ninja, right? Kuzan's lazy voice came from the other side. The Marine general did not take off his blindfold, as if he had seen everything. Are you here for a trip? Kang asked tentatively. In the original work, Kuzan is a guy who is confused about justice and has a very contradictory personality. But because of Kang's intrusion, many things seemed to be out of control, so he was testing Kuzan's attitude. As for escaping in front of the general, if this guy had the intention, Melee wouldn't be able to set sail at all. One move, Ice Age, can directly seal the sea for you, which is more effective than Dark Crow's Black Gaze. This is just Aokiji's fruit ability. Even if the Devil Fruit ability is removed, the 3 generals of the year were still talented newcomers called monsters. The domineering physical skills, mentality, and fruits are all impeccable. Coupled with the mountains of corpses and seas of blood, there is no shortcoming in itself. Facing Kang's question, Kuzan's answer was, a sound of snoring came. Kang was confused, sleeping, asleep. Ignore me. Believe it or not, Lousy will burn you with a handful of Amaterasu. When the shadow clone didn't trigger the plot and didn't know what to do, Kuzan's snoring stopped abruptly. Are you here too? Nico Robin. Kang turned around and saw a mature lady walking towards this side. What are you doing here? Robin just used her ability to eavesdrop on the conversation. She came here out of curiosity. However, after seeing this figure, Robin opened his mouth but was too scared to speak. As the tall man removed his blindfold, an unforgettable face appeared in front of Robin's eyes. Robin's legs gave way and he fell to the ground, his eyes full of despair and fear. This face is an absolute nightmare for Robin. He was one of the culprits who killed his only childhood friend, Zoro, and destroyed his hometown, O'Hara. This is the devil that weighs on him like a cat playing with a mouse. You have become a big girl. There was no expression on Kuzan's face. Kang couldn't stand it any longer and instantly helped Robin up. Why don't you, a general from the Marine headquarters, scare people like this? With the support of her partner, the woman finally spoke tremblingly. Why are you here? Nicole Robin gave Kang a run signal while retreating. Me, well, Kuzan scratched his head and said lazily. The G8 branch reported your news, and unfortunately I was on vacation nearby. I was originally just here to see you who disappeared after the Alabasta incident, and your new captain who joined the pirate group, and then. Quote. I feel tired standing and talking, let me sit down for a while. As he said that, Aokiji suddenly fell to the ground, looking completely unconcerned. Good chance. You are worthy of the Marine General who is known as the Lazy Justice. I have finished reading it. Nico Robin is living a good life. Since she is on vacation, she should have a good vacation and we will not disturb her. After saying that, Chi Kong picked up Robin and ran away. This is just his shadow clone, but Robin is a real person. He didn't know if the main body knew that Robin was coming, but Chi Kong didn't dare to bet. Seeing this guy who came and left, Kuzan stopped pretending, the cold air filled the air, and an ice wall suddenly appeared on the retreat route of the two of them. Don't be anxious. Well, what is your name, this ninja guy? What is it called? My F************* G bounty is so high, you don't know my name. If you weren't a general, Lousy would have smashed your teeth. This is so irritating. Chapter 227 You are targeting me. Facing Kuzan's, come and hit me, look, Chi Kong raised his eyebrows. He has never heard such a mean request. Then, Chi Kong cleared his throat and put on a serious face. Mr. General, my name is Cool D. Chi Kong, and I am a peace-loving fisherman. And in our pirate group, all of them are honest and good-natured kids, the kind who would not even step on an ant to death. Quote. Robin followed us, and he was able to eat 3 hot meals every day, including breakfast, lunch and dinner, as well as afternoon tea and midnight snacks. He didn't suffer at all. Chi Kong said this as if reporting to his father-in-law, and the whole atmosphere became strange. After a while, Kuzan finally broke the silence and slowly said, after my observation, you guys are really different. Thank you, no need to praise, I will be proud. From the time you were wanted until now, your growth rate is shocking. Even I, a person who deals with criminals every day, can't imagine what the consequences will be if you are allowed to develop. Although you are not many in number, once you gather together, you will definitely become a major threat in the future. Especially you two. Kuzan's words were filled with a hint of coldness. Devil's son, Nico Robin, and you, what a crazy ninja. One of you is a survivor from O'Hara, and the other is from Wano. If you are allowed to continue, it will be a disaster for the entire world. Chi Kong as defined as winking face. General Kuzan, what you said is that the disaster will be forgotten. But who the hell said that I am from the country of Wano? Besides, the country of Wano dug up your family's ancestral graves. Chi Kong complained in his heart, but his face showed a learned expression. Wano is not Kaido. Wait, is it an ancient text? Could this guy have misunderstood something? Kuzan turned his eyes to Chi Kong and continued expressionlessly. I heard that you defeated Gion, right? Although I don't know what happened specifically, but. Sorry, keeping you here is one of the purposes of my trip. This is also Fleet Admiral's order. Question mark. Isn't it a drama about elders educating younger ones? What does this mean? Also Fleet Admiral's orders. I'm just traveling with second generation, and you're going to send a general to mess with me. Isn't it possible to get on the boat without a background? General Aokiji slowly stood up from the grass. In that case, let's stay together and leave you two here together. As Kuzan finished speaking, the air around him seemed to freeze, and the wind was freezing. Playing for real. Chi Kong panicked, gave Robin a look, and then activated his face fruit ability, trying to fight for it again. So he said, give me some face. Our captain is Monkey D. Luffy, you don't want to make it difficult, right? Luffy is Garp's grandson, don't you give him any respect. Ah, this guy is really familiar with our marine. Kuzan glanced at Chi Kong, he knew what this guy meant. But the conversation changed. There is no way, maybe this is the price of justice. Kuzan casually grabbed a handful of grass, blew it gently, and an ice sword appeared in his hand. Run! Chi Kong shouted, but when he looked back, only Nico Robin's back was left behind. Chi Kong just wanted to say, she is indeed one of Hamy's favorite women, even her escaping posture is so pleasing to the eye. Since you have chosen to cut off the queen, I will deal with you first. Kuzan's faint voice came. Chi Kong, you should G look at Robin. Targeted. Nakedly targeted. Clang. Chi Kong used his kunai to resist the ice blade, and the cold air filled the air around him. He had a hunch that as long as this guy wanted to, he could freeze himself at any time. The Sharingan in Chi Kang's right eye rotated for a while, and Kuzan, who clearly had a strong sense of knowledge, stared at this eye without caring. Damn, are you so confident? Chi Kong turned into a crow and disappeared in front of Kuzan, but Kuzan made a backhand knife and cut behind him, which was air for him. At the critical moment, Chi Kong used the teleportation technique to disappear. Your speed and ability are indeed impressive, but if it's only at this level, I really can't understand how Gion lost. Open black lens bracket freezing moment close black lens bracket. Kuzan's whole body turned into countless fragments, condensed into ice, and rushed towards Chi Kong. At the same time, the cold air around Chi Kong became more and more intense, and the temperature dropped suddenly. At this time, Chi Kong was hit by debuff. His speed was reduced by -50%. Chi Kong knew that he could no longer hide his clumsiness, and a fiery red chakra skeleton wrapped himself, Susanoo. Yes, after evolving into Eternal Mangekyo, the current shadow clone can also use blood succession limit. Of course, this clone must carry enough pupil power and chakra. With Kang's ultimate shadow clone, 50% chakra and pupil power, it will not be a problem to maintain it for a while. After all, it's just a clone. Due to tolerance issues, he only has the initial form of ribs or arms, and they don't last long. Now that Susan was there, the cold air was temporarily blocked, but Kuzan was still rushing at high speed, as if he wanted to hit him head-on. Kang felt that he could not be allowed to come close, so he began to form seals with his hands and clap them together. Open black lens bracket great fireball technique close black lens bracket. You are ice, then I am fire. The air was filled with biting cold air and blazing flames. The two forces intertwined in the air, forming a realm of ice and fire. With the blessing of Susanoo, Kang's great fireball technique doubled in power, and the flames were like the sun, trying to devour everything. Just when Kang was hesitating whether to release Amaterasu, the great fireball was swept away by an overwhelming cold wind. Snowstorm. It turns out that frozen fruit doesn't just freeze people. Click, click. The ribs built by chakra were frozen by the cold wind. Is this the power of Omega? Kang narrowed his eyes, and a black-red flame exploded in front, hitting Kuzan like a rain curtain. The moment Amaterasu was used, Kang's shadow clone immediately turned into a fart. Kuzan used shave at the critical moment. Looking at Kang who disappeared without a trace, his heart palpitated and his face was filled with questions. The palpitation was due to this black flame. His cognition color told him that it was very troublesome to be contaminated. The doubt was because he couldn't sense Kang when he turned on the cognition color. How is this going? After a while, hey, it's really troublesome. As he said that, Kuzan walked lazily towards the competition square. Chapter 228 Pity the hearts of parents in the world. At this time in the square, the final decisive battle has ended. Straw Hat Boy, I didn't expect you to break my undefeated myth. However, I still admire you very much. As Fox said this, he stretched out his hand, as if he wanted to shake hands with Luffy in a manly manner. Luffy was silent for a moment, and finally held the hand. However, the next second, Fox suddenly changed his face, turned around, and shouted. This is an unwilling over-the-shoulder throw. With a bang, the rubber man Luffy's hand was stretched out, but Fox's own head hit the ground, making a crisp sound. Kang. This one is cooked. The scene was awkward for a while, and Zoro couldn't help but complain, you are a fool. Fox was erect like a carp. Although there was a big bump on his head, he pretended to say as if nothing had happened. Okay, rules are rules. But, don't you really think about selecting crew members? No, I want you in the pirate flag, Luffy said firmly. Fox burst into tears and said, how could there be such a person? You want to take away our dignity without hesitation. Luffy took it for granted. I don't need the sail. You can't sail without it. Faced with Luffy's kindness, the Fox crew. What? You are so kind-hearted. But there are also signs painted on the sails. Stop being pretentious, just take whatever you want. If the sails are marked, they can't be used, so. That's it, I understand, then I will take away that symbol and draw a new one for you. Luffy said understandingly. Fox's eyes were slightly red, Straw Hat Boy, you guy. Kang just wanted to say, you are happy too early. Ever since. Is that enough? Luffy held the brush with a proud look on his face. As a result, Foxy and the others were stunned by the new logo, because of Luffy's uncomplimentary painter. It's so F********* G ugly. At this moment, the memories of Nico Robin and Shadow Clone came back at the same time. Nico Robin and Kang looked at each other, and both saw tension in each other's eyes. Luffy, hurry up and set sail. It's too late to explain anything. While everyone was still wondering, a group of broken ice arrived in the square in an instant, and everything it passed was filled with ice and snow. As the broken ice turned into human form, everyone looked confused. Boss, this could be General Marine, Pochi said with a look of fear next to Fox. General, whoosh whoosh. The square that was still full of people just now, the pirates disappeared without a trace in an instant. Goodbye, Straw Hats. Full speed ahead. All members of the Fox Pirates left while the Straw Hats were stunned, which meant that Mary was liberated. But, as soon as the breeze blew, a ball of oil paper hit a lazy guy in the face in the deserted square. Kuzan pulled away the oil paper and scratched his head. It's really troublesome, they actually escaped. You still said it wasn't targeted. General. Nami covered her head and burst into tears. This grand route was too scary. A few months ago, she was a thief. After becoming a pirate, she now had to face a general. When everyone was out of breath under the pressure from Kuzan, God-tier Luffy asked, hey. Froghead, do you want to fight? Froghead, you are so brave. Luffy, Usopp hurriedly covered the idiot's mouth. Shut up. Luffy, the opponent is a general. Kuzan looked Luffy up and down. He looked so similar, he was indeed that man's grandson. But at this time, the uncle holding Shirley said, Marine is here. But my work has been helped by pirates. This guy is not bad, and he says between the lines that the Straw Hats are good people. After Kuzan was silent for a moment, he said, Old sir, go back and prepare your luggage first. I will help you catch up with the other villagers later. The old man was stunned for a moment, then looked around and felt that the atmosphere was not right, so he took Shirley and ran away. After the old man left, Kuzan looked at Luffy and said, "You and your grandfather are so similar." Monkey D. Luffy, I should say he is passionate and unrestrained, or he is erratic. When he heard the word, Grandpa, Luffy was startled and his expression changed instantly. In the mind of this idiot captain, his grandfather is the person he fears most. Usopp. Hey, Luffy, why are you sweating all over your body? Luffy pouted. Ah, it must be because the weather is too hot. Where's the liar? There's a snow girl next to her, okay. When Kuzan saw Luffy, he seemed to be less murderous. He sat down quietly and spoke slowly. I have received a lot of attention from your grandfather in the past. Let's do this. You will combine Nicole Robin and... Impossible. Robin is our partner. Before Kuzan could finish his words, Luffy's determined roar came. Ku sighed in admiration and threatened with relief, you have no idea how dangerous this guy is. Aren't you curious that a little girl who is only 8 years old has a bounty of 79 million and is still alive today despite being in hiding all day long? Kang was dumbfounded by Kuzan's calm appearance as an elder. Second generation is second generation. If you change the person, the plot will be so different. Seeing everyone's silence, Kuzan's voice continued. Once someone is taken in, we will use them at all costs. Once there is danger, we will abandon them and run away. This is how Nico Robin survived in the underworld. The place you chose as a hiding place this time is this group of innocent guys, right? Nicole Robin. After hearing Kuzan's words, Robin broke out in cold sweat. She was indeed such a person, and this was a past she didn't want to mention. But, at this time, everyone in the straw hats stood firmly in front of Robin. They all learned about Robin's past from Kang. Maybe some people were wary of Robin's joining at first, but after getting along, everyone has subconsciously regarded her as a partner. Zoro withstood the knife silently, while Sanji, who was a chivalrous man, pulled his tie. He would not allow anyone to slander a lady. Hey, I thought you were going to say something. This is really annoying. What kind of hatred does Miss Robin have between you and me? With that said, this guy wanted to take action, no matter if his opponent was a general or something else. But, don't be impulsive. Next to him, Usopp pulled over Sanji, the love brain. The opponent was a marine general. It was better not to do anything if he could. I have no grudge against her, it's just that she escaped from me once. General Aokiji, who was sitting on the ground, calmly looked at the straw hats in front of him. You will soon understand your situation, and it won't be long before you regret taking this woman in. The evidence is, so far, all the organizations related to Nico Robin have been destroyed. Of course, except for this woman. Haha, why on earth is this, Nico Robin? What a divorce plan. Kuzan wanted to continue to K his heart, but... Shut up. Luffy couldn't bear it anymore. He looked directly at the Marine General in front of him and said angrily, the past was before, and now is now. Oh, are you already so familiar with each other? Aokiji was not surprised by this answer. Because he didn't feel the rejection and hesitation of the straw hats towards Robin. Kang felt that this girl must be ecstatic inside, how pitiful the hearts of parents in the world are. However, Sister Yu next to Kang didn't think so. What on earth do you want to say? You devil! Exclamation mark! The relaxation and happiness during this period were something she had never experienced during her wandering days. But now, the scars from the past have been nakedly exposed by this demon, and it's still in front of this group of people. If you want to catch me, just do it. Over the years, these pirates who don't look like pirates are the only ones she cares about. So, 30 rounds of flowers bloom separation crane. Chapter 229 Uchiha Fire Formation. 30 rounds of flowers bloom separation crane. Robin had lost his cool and completely forgot that his opponent was elemental ice. 30 arms appear on Kuzan's body at the same time. This is a vicious assassination skill that can instantly break the enemy's bones. Click, click, no. Don't do it. Our Usopp was already frightened and hurriedly took out his weapon and prepared to fight. Chopper was shocked. Is he dead? Usopp was furious. Idiot. How is that possible? The broken ice cubes turned into human figures again. Oh my, it seems I talked too much and was disliked by others. After Kuzan recovered, the following words hit everyone's chest like a heavy hammer. It seems that there is no point in talking too much. In short, Nico Robin and that ninja will stay here today. Not only Robin, but also ninjas have to be killed. There is absolutely no way out. Kuzan grabbed it in the air, and a cold ice blade appeared out of thin air in his right hand. This time he directly solidified the moisture in the air into ice. As Kuzan disappeared, he reappeared with a wave of the ice blade in his hand, aiming directly at Kang and Robin. Clang! With a harsh friction sound, the skate was held up by Zoro's Wado Yamanji. Zoro is shocked. He can't even cut through the ice. Hardening. Meat-cutting kick. Sanji's sharp kick knocked Kuzan's skate away. Then, after Luffy accumulated strength, he followed closely, rubber pistol. A fierce fist hit Kuzan's abdomen. The cooperation between Luffy and the three of them can be said to be flawless, but it's useless. Armed color domineering, knowledge color domineering, standard equipment for major generals and above. Standing there, General Aokiji just reached out and grabbed Zoro's arm and Sanji's calf in the blink of an eye, and his abdomen was hit by Luffy's fist. Click click click. Ah, times 3. The biting cold air instantly spread to the three of them. Their arms, calves, and fists were all covered in crystal ice. The trio screamed in pain. Frozen. All of a sudden the three of them. In the blink of an eye, the three combatants were directly defeated, and the timid trio trembled as they watched. Chopper saw everyone falling to the ground. As a doctor, he said in horror, "It's not good. They must be treated immediately. The frostbite is so severe, if this continues, the hands and feet will rot. It seems that you have met some good partners." Kuzan smiled, no longer paying attention to the three screaming people, and stepped closer to Nico Robin and Kang. As General Aokiji approached, the surrounding temperature dropped sharply, and frost began to slowly form on everyone's bodies. And the freezing speed of Kang and Robin is even more terrifying. Must kill Fire Star. Bew, bew, the flaming bullet in Usopp's hand penetrated Kuzan's body. Damn it, he, a sniper, had nothing to do with the elemental enemy. Usopp, who replaced Yanbei, shouted, Kang. Nami, please help quickly. Nami, no. Facing Usopp's exclamation, Kang, who had just become blue, stopped Nami. Nami, Usopp, get out. Go sail the ship, I have a way. Okay. Although she didn't know why, Nami subconsciously chose to believe Kang, and Usopp pulled the frostbitten Nico Robin back. Chopper still wanted to help, but, don't worry. I'll catch up. Go, Chopper, I'll prepare the treatment later. Chopper, who transformed into a half-orc, nodded heavily and chased after him. Multiple shadow clone techniques. Kang instantly rushed towards Kuzan, and at the same time 4 shadow clone appeared and rushed towards the other 4 corners, each holding a scroll. Although he was laughing and joking, he had already been prepared for this situation. General Kuzan, try this. Open black lens bracket Great Dragon Fire Technique Close black lens bracket. A ball of dragon-shaped flame rushed towards Kuzan, and the fire dragon in the air separated a ball of flame and fell near the 3 powerful forces. Open black lens bracket Bow Pheasant Mouth Close black lens bracket. Before the fire dragon got close to Kuzan, an ice bird shot out from Kuzan's hand, and the fire dragon faced the ice bird. The 2 forces collided fiercely in the air, and fire and ice merged, instantly creating a huge steam cloud that obscured the line of sight. When the steam dissipated, Kuzan was seen standing calmly on the spot, and the dragon-shaped flame and ice bird had all disappeared. I'm curious, is this your devil fruit ability? Guess. Times 5. The Kangs just smiled. Kuzan looked at the shadow clone surrounding him with great interest, and his brain almost shut down. Is this the clone? It seems, it is indeed different from your original body, but each one seems to have self-awareness, which is so strange. Kang gave a signal to Luffy and others who were melting into ice, telling them to go first. But, facing Kang's gesture, Luffy, Zoro, and Sanji gritted their teeth and stood up resolutely. Luffy started to pump up the second gear, Zoro bit the knife and began to accumulate power, and Sanji began to rub to generate heat, and the fire ice gave him inspiration. Their thinking is very simple. They can't retreat no matter what they say this time. If the ninjas are cut off as soon as something happens, how will they grow? Kang curled his lips when he saw this. He didn't fight hard this time. How could he survive? Forget it, I'm going to use the newly acquired ninjutsu this time anyway. Kang's 5 claws glowed with blue fire, and then he slapped the ground. Secret technique Uchiha Fire Formation. In an instant, a scorching breath surged in the air, and 4 flaming red energy walls appeared, instantly covering Kuzan. At the same time, Shadow Clone pressed the scroll to the ground at the same time, and his fingers glowed with blue light. Uchiha Fire Formation. Times 4. The advanced secret technique of the Uchiha clan to trap enemies and defend themselves. Use your 5 fingers to release the flames created by the fire attribute chakra, then place your palms on the ground to release red barriers. The power of these barriers is huge, and its hardness cannot even be broken by a tailed beast in a short period of time, and if the attacker comes into contact, it will be burned. The disadvantage of this technique is that the chakra consumes a lot of money. If the Weasel God's true form is here, he won't be able to use it without some means. Because just summoning for defense is not Kang's purpose. His purpose is to create a cage that seals the sky and the earth. Otherwise, with such a terrifying guy, he doesn't know how long this barriers can last. Therefore, 4 people are needed at the 4 corners to continuously inject the fire attribute chakra to maintain the barriers. This is what he summoned the Shadow Clone for. Do you want to trap me? Kuzan walked towards an energy barrier as red as jade. His hand almost boiled when he slapped the barriers, but luckily it was covered in military colors in time. Kuzan was confused, and the Straw Hats were also confused. What is this? Isn't it going to be a group fight? Kang shouted. Why are you still standing there? Let's go. Aren't you going to fight? Luffy asked doubtfully. Kang wanted to have a big fight. Do you think the general is a cabbage? Think about Enel. This person is only stronger than him. He is not restrained by you. There is no benefit if you win. If you lose, you will be GG. What is the thankless job? Zoro and Sanji don't care. As long as Kang doesn't cut off the queen, they will be unhappy. Secondly, this opponent cannot be solved by ninjas escaping to the sea. Okay, then, let's set sail. Luffy knew that he was going to continue. Rubber rubber. Question mark question mark question mark. Wait, Luffy. Times 3. Rap Rocket. Chapter 230 Big Frog, Sea Train. Secure Asset Portal. Your trusted source for secure and informative digital assets. Register with your real phone number and get bonus just for registering. Try for free. On the vast sea, the golden merly cuts through the waves, and what pulls it is a manatee that is panting and working hard. Why? Why just when we are leaving? Targeted. They are all targeting me. It was Chi Kong who spoke. It turns out that just when they were about to leave Long Chain Island, the offshore king of this island appeared. Chi Kong estimated that this offshore king had at least a 20-year-old physique, which was why he was grabbing the ground with his head at this moment. But when he was running for his life, he still used the posture of subduing a dragon and wagging its tail. So, Chi Kong cut off a tail in tears. Moo, how long will it take? I still have Nami's letter here. Moo breathed out tiredly. Just at this time, Nami and Chopper came out of the cabin, and Nami said with some distress. We are already far away from Long Chain Island and have reached the sea. That guy shouldn't be able to catch up, right? What are you talking about? Usopp immediately retorted. The opponent is General Marine. Go at full speed. Moo, keep accelerating. As timid as he is, he doesn't dare to slack off at all. Dr. Chopper. Report to Captain Usopp. All wounded have been treated. The doctor's advice is, rest for a few more days. Usopp looked proud. It was finally his turn to be the captain. Well done, Corporal Chopper. This is your honorary badge. Roar. Chopper roared excitedly. Happy fools. That's what it's called. No monkeys on board. Long noses rule the roost. Go. The ultimate fast rod. Chi Kong, who became more and more frustrated, threw out the fishing rod. Not long after, all the patients in the cabin walked out, which also heralded the end of Usopp's captaincy career. Sanji, I'm hungry. I want to eat meat. Meat. It depends on what ingredients the fisherman has. Nami, buy a drink. Sincerity benefits 50,000 Baileys. The doctor's advice is to rest. Go back quickly. Go back quickly. Usopp also wanted to save the captain's position. Idiot. Why are you all here? Dr. Chopper was angry. Of course, Chopper and Usopp have no deterrent effect on these inhuman guys. Haha. Looking at the warm scene in front of him, Robin chuckled as he stood at the door of the cabin on the second floor. When Chopper saw it, Robin also came out. Robin, you also need to rest. Go back quickly. Robin responded with a gentle smile. Thank you, Dr. Chopper's wonderful rejuvenation. I feel like I'm fine. Doctor, I hate it. Even if you say that, I won't be happy. Although Chauba said this, he was ecstatic in his heart, spinning like a happy top. He moved a beach chair from the side and motioned for Robin to lie down next to him and have a good rest and enjoy the compliments. The Straw Hats, who have just emerged from the crisis, are once again peaceful. What a great day like this. Sanji dragged the monster's tail and appeared next to Robin in an instant. Miss Robin. What do you want to eat? I can make you something to warm your body. Then bring me a cup of coffee first. Robin thought for a moment and did not refuse Sanji's kindness. Sanji danced happily. Very happy. At this time, Luffy shouted again. Sanji. Remember, I want to eat a lot of meat. Honey glazed barbecue. Fried kebabs. Sanji turned his head and his expression became dull. Oh. On the deck, everyone sat around and enjoyed the meal together. Luffy chewed it and exclaimed. What kind of meat is this? It's so delicious. Usopp opened his mouth and said, this is the monster's meat, which is 100 meters long. I killed it just when we left the island. Puff. When Chi Kong heard this, he couldn't help but fell to the ground, filled with sadness. Chopper's eyes widened in surprise. 100 meters. That's amazing. Usopp. Usopp said triumphantly. Of course. Chopper, this is just a trivial matter to me, you know who I am. Chopper looked serious. Of course, it's the captain of Usopp's ship. That's right, it's Captain Usopp. As soon as Usopp finished speaking, bang, after a burst of smoke, Mary's speed dropped sharply. Luffy looked confused. Hey, Moo Moo is gone, Zoro complained. Can it not stand Usopp's lies? Only Chi Kong knew the cause and effect. After running for a long time, he was forced to remove the spiritual technique. Really, there are only exhausted cows. Moo Moo. I'll never G come again. Suffer it. At this time, Nami slapped his head, suddenly remembered something, and quickly took out the pointer. She was so preoccupied with running away that she even forgot to adjust her course. Direction. Off. 5 days later. The sea breeze blows on your face, the sun shines, and you have nothing to do fishing. This is really a paradise life. Chi Kong in the fishing den enjoys such a life, but the beautiful time is always short. For example, the big frog caught by Chi Kong now reminds him that the capital of 7 waters is coming soon. Ah, Chi Kong, why did you throw away this freestyle frog? Seeing Luffy's dissatisfaction, Chi Kong made up a random reason. Frogs are beneficial creatures. Question mark. Wayward Luffy. Turn the helm. I'm going to catch that frog and roast it. Chi Kong complained. Haha. It's not certain who will eat who. As Melee speeds up, a lighthouse appears on the sea. There is a lighthouse ahead. Nami raised the telescope and was full of doubts. How can there be a lighthouse in a place like that? Is there anyone there? The frog is also heading towards the lighthouse. Robin reminded. Chi Kong suddenly retracted his fishing rod and shouted. Luffy, we'd better slow down. Hey, why? I still want to chase that frog. It's simple, because the sea train is coming. Question mark question mark question mark. Woo woo woo. Just as the Mary slowly slowed down, a long train came speeding across the sea, and the other Straw Hats were stunned. The frog was knocked away. As the name suggests, the sea train is a train that travels on the sea. It is a ship that travels along the sea rails laid between the Seven Waters capital and other surrounding islands. The ship is actually smoking. Everyone was confused. It's not scientific at all for such a long boat to be running on the sea. Nami said. Kang, you talk about science in the pirate world. And this is not a ship, okay. Kang didn't know how to explain this thing to these country bumpkins. This is a rare and relatively normal technological product in this age of great navigation. This is the crystallization of the first industrial revolution, the steam engine train. But on the sea, normal, it's already normal. This is a large-scale vehicle that uses steam engines as power, called a sea train. After Kang finished speaking. Sure enough, basically all of them were confused. As Kang explained the principle of the steam engine, Luffy clapped his hands. That's it. His second gear seemed to have the same effect. Kang is so awesome, you know so much. Facing Chopper's compliment, Kang touched his head, full of shyness and embarrassment. No. Intelligence is the basic skill of a ninja. When Crayon Xiaokong was enjoying flattery, an innocent children's voice sounded. Grandma, there are pirates here. Kang was delighted. This triggered the plot. Chapter 231 The Capital of Seven Waters. Sea Train Station. There are 3 NPCs here. Kokura's grandma, the drunken drunkard, who is actually a mermaid's mother-in-law, Kokura's granddaughter, and a rabbit named Cat. Needless to say, this kind of sand sculpture must be a friendly NPC. The Straw Hats completed the plot here and unlocked a new item, letter of recommendation from the shipyard. Be careful along the way, everyone. Remember to go see the circus tour at the carnival. Meow. Haha. Remember to be careful of the world government, people. Just like that, saying goodbye to the friendly NPCs, the Straw Hats set off again. Luffy put his hands on his hips and said with great enthusiasm, let's go. Heading towards the 7 city of meat. Why are your ears listening? Nami complained about the guy whose mind is full of meat. At this time, Sanji stood up, his eyes flashing with longing for Miss Gina. Luffy, leave the recruitment of shipwrights to me. I will definitely recruit a stunning beauty. Idiot. Luffy objected and began to make exaggerated gestures. He is a shipwright. Of course he must be built like a mountain, 5 meters tall, and preferably have a waist circumference of 5 meters. Usopp was horrified. Could such a ball-like creature be able to repair a ship? Or maybe what Luffy recruited was not a human at all. Thinking of this, Usopp broke out in a cold sweat and immediately stopped him. Luffy, the space in our ship is too small, and there is no room for such a creature. It doesn't matter what kind of person you are, as long as your craftsmanship is good enough. Suo Da's words were like a breath of fresh air, so rational. But, he changed the topic, we need the other party to dare to board our ship. Zoro's words immediately silenced everyone. The talents on this ship are mostly from one side, and the adventure is very exciting. Ordinary people cannot bear it, such as the fisherman who just lost one eye. At this time, the fisherman and Chopper had just come out of the kitchen and immediately found the unconscious Nicole Robin. What's wrong? Melancholy young lady, why are you in a daze? Robin looked at Kang. She didn't know how to answer this guy who was as good at observing words and emotions as she was. The reason why Robin is a little distracted is because of the world government, that Kokoro said. This group of people is looking for her all the time, which makes the son of the devil, who has been hiding in the darkness feel unprecedentedly nervous. Don't worry, your partner will always have your back, Robin. Kang smiled and gently held out the item in his hand, the dark, coffee bean fish soup. And Robin could have taken the coffee. A white fish eye loomed inside. Robin, I fell. Who would drink such strange smoking stuff? You wasting food fisherman. You were looking for death. Who asked you to touch my kitchen? Sanji suddenly appeared, raised his legs and started fighting with Kang. Kang's food battle failed, but it didn't matter, there was plan B, and soon Dr. Chopper took Kang's place. Robin, I haven't seen a circus show yet, but I'm scared to be alone. Can you accompany me after we land on the island? Mental illness is also a disease, which is why Dr. Chopper came. Kang said casually, and Chopper believed it. Facing Chopper's invitation, Robin picked up Chopper and smiled. Sure enough, cute things can heal people's hearts. Dumb. I want to go too. Chirp. Shit. Big brother. That's human territory. Dumb. I've made up my mind, you can handle it yourself today. Kang, who turned into Erita, stepped on Sanji's feet and took out Sanji's cigarette with ease. Just when he was about to light it, his eyes involuntarily cast into the distance. What I really saw is indeed a different scenery. What is displayed before everyone's eyes is a dreamlike water garden, Water 7. The city is famous for its shipbuilding skills along the Grand Line. At the same time, the scenery of this city is also very unique. The canal network extends in all directions. In the center of the city, there is a giant fountain-like building spewing seawater, forming waterways that run through the entire city. On both sides of the waterway, colorful Madara houses and shops, coupled with exquisite bridges and waterways, form a beautiful water city. However, the most shocking thing is the 7 majestic waterways, which lead to the huge docks marked number 1 to 7. The 7 docks surround the center of the city, like 7 bright pearls, embedded in the blue waves. When the melee slowly approached the capital of 7 waters, the first thing that came into view was the wide waterway. In front of everyone, a waterfall cascading down next to the huge dock. The densely packed hanging towers and towering chimneys at the top of the dock, as well as the busy figures shuttled among them, all highlighted the vitality of this industrial city. Wow, it's so spectacular. It's like an industrial city. Usopp sighed. He was full of confidence in Mary's upgrade this time. But where is the pier? Nami found that there was only one station in front of him. Leave the intelligence collection task to me. It will be done in 5 minutes. Kang said confidently and jumped out. The ninja stepped on the water and found the fisherman uncle on the coast. I'm as tired as a dog after get off work every day. I have to throw 2 shots. Kang sighed and walked straight towards the fishing guy. When the fishing uncle heard this, he raised his head and looked at Kang. That's right. You have to swing 2 shots. After confirming his eyes, he met the right person. Kang successfully broke into the inside. However, this guy sat directly next to the fishing guy and started fishing. Brother, I have just finished this nest, are you going too far? Faced with the dissatisfaction of the fishing guy, Kang opened his sweet mouth. Brother, what kind of fish is this? Why is it so big? Oh my god, this is the first time I have seen such a big flat fish. Hearing Kang's praise, the fisherman smiled happily, his dissatisfaction disappeared instantly, and he started to introduce his unique fishing method and the strange fish here in high spirits. Wait, I'm hooked. Kang suddenly lifted the pole and saw a black thing bursting out of the water. What kind of fish is this, uncle? After listening to Kang's words, the fishing uncle was shocked. The interface speed is so fast, could it be that he is born with a fishing body? He turned around and saw that he was stunned. He actually caught a dog. Dog? What are you looking at? Have you never seen a dog catching fish to eat? Chapter 232 Free Activities. Fish bones, iron pieces, stones. As the items Kang caught became more and more outrageous, the uncle beside him was completely petrified. Finally, he stared at the shoehorn on his hook and fell into deep thought. Brother, let's draw a line. What do you want? I, Carrera's greatest fisherman, gave in today. The fisherman uncle knelt down and begged Kang to get out. This was G more terrifying than the Air Force. The key point was that being a chicken was contagious. Wait, Nami, this is my old cousin. Old cousin, give me a chance. I'm really strong. Amid wailing, Kang was dragged away and replaced by a normal person to negotiate. Yes, that's right. Just go around to the street by the back door. The uncle fishing on the coast pointed to the other side, looking like he was about to get out. Thanks, uncle. I don't dare to take it. I don't take it. It's me who should say thank you. Don't let that guy come out to harass people. In the backstreets of this city, everyone was discussing a boring topic, whether this city would sink to the bottom of the sea. And Kang threw out the fishing rod with an uninhibited attitude of, ignore the flood, I will fish in the rivers and lakes myself. Because these fools are right. Yes, even the whole world will sink to the bottom of the sea. This is what Vegapunk said. With the guidance of some enthusiastic citizens, the melee quickly found a suitable berthing location. People on this island don't seem to be afraid of pirates. Nami sighed. Zoro looked at the pirate ship beside and said, because for the shipyard, pirates are also customers, right? This reminds me of my experience in Rog Town. Maybe there are very powerful people in this city. Sanji guessed that after all, during the last trip to Rog Town, there was a very powerful smoking man. Usopp also thought of the smoky man. Why do I suddenly have a bad feeling? Usopp felt an inexplicable uneasiness in his heart, but then he thought about it. On such a prosperous island with so many people, there was no danger at all. Robin put forward her opinion. I think it's more reasonable for them to have very powerful bodyguards, so that they won't be afraid even if the pirates mess around. Faced with Robin's speculation, Kang said directly, are you also a prophet? It's easy to get stabbed if you jump to see a prophet. Because what Robin said was right, Kang knew that the shipwrights here had long-term dealings with pirates and all had special skills. Fights were commonplace. Not to mention, even the CP9 undercover who knows the 6 styles is mixed in. Ordinary pirates come here to cause trouble, which is like using the toilet to light up, looking for shit. At this time, Nami's voice came, everyone, come and claim your dividends. Get rich. Everyone gathered around expectantly. However, Nami's next words were like a bucket of cold water poured on their heads. Due to lack of cash, each person can only receive 1 million belly. Nani. Everyone's enthusiasm cooled down instantly, but Nami said firmly, that's enough. I will change some money. I won't cheat your money. Everyone received the money. Okay, let's split up first. Nami clapped his hands. This is basically the case on every island. We're taking the first step. There is no doubt that Luffy and Usopp have disappeared in a flash. They are basically like this on every island. Looking at the 2 people leaving, Nami's whole body flashed with thunder, but she held back. At this time, Nami had already changed into a short-sleeved suit and tie. She pointed at the 2 people running away and said, Sanji, go buy some ingredients. Follow Luffy and Usopp. Because Sanji must buy ingredients, this troublesome task is left to Sanji. Miss Nami, won't you go shopping with me? Sanji was about to burst into tears. He actually wanted to be a nanny for the idiot captain. Please Sanji-kun. Nami's eyes were full of pleading. After sending Sanji away, there were suddenly 3 less people. At this time, Robin raised her hand and spoke. Chopper and I have made an appointment to watch the circus performance. As she said that, she gently picked up Chopper and prepared to go together. The dark crow spread its wings and landed on Robin's shoulder. It was obvious that it wanted to go too. Then, Kang comes with me to exchange money. Then, Nami said to Zoro. Zoro, please stop walking. I'll bring you some bottles of good wine later. Nami didn't dare to let Zoro wander around alone, so he and Shadow Clone left the ship to him. I know. Zoro leaned against the deck and closed his eyes to rest. Tweet. Same as above. I just want a bag of fruit. In fact, Kang didn't want to accompany Nami, but she was worried about Nami going alone, so she finally went with him. After Nami and the main body left, Suoda, can you watch the ship alone? Shadow Clone asked. Zoro opened his eyes and looked at the guy with worry on his face. The clone and the main body had exactly the same thoughts. They had been together for so long, Zoro was sure of this. This guy has something on his mind. What do you want to do? Zoro asked. Faced with Zoro's question, Kang's answer was. I can't accept the world between the two of us, so, maybe. I want to go see a circus performance. Question mark question mark question mark. One sword style. Whoosh. Shadow Clone disappeared. Nami and Kang took the blue, a unique means of transportation in the capital of 7 waters, and traveled around the city along the waterways that crisscrossed the entire city. We ate the specialty of the 7 waters city, Shui meat, took a ride on the water city's specialty, the water elevator, and witnessed the mask carnival. This kind of relaxed and cheerful atmosphere can really make people forget their worries, especially if they are traveling with beautiful women. If Sanji knew about it, he would probably have envy, jealousy, and hatred written on his face. There was no way anyone could make Kang the normal one on the ship. Looking at the special style building in front of him, Nami couldn't help but sigh. This is completely a city on the water. Nokigao and Uncle Aegean must have never seen this kind of scenery. Hey, Nami seems a little homesick. Simple. Kang and Nami found the photography booth. Click. The two took a group photo together and attached the postcard. That's good. Let Moo show it to them next time. Nami was moved for a while, and it turned out that bringing Kang out was the wisest choice. Over there. Nami. Hurry up. Kang suddenly shouted. Nami pulled the reins. Ah. What did you find? What happened over there? Of course, what happened next made Nami immediately regret taking this guy out. At this time, pedestrians in the central waterway were shocked. Because this is something that has never happened since the water city was built. The giant sea monster bus was caught by a fisherman. Kang was in pain and happiness for this 5-year-old physique. Let go. Did you hear me? Don't force me to take action. Kang, are you stupid? This is public transportation. Yes, this is the tired Nami. I'm sorry. My companion is mentally ill. I will pay you any amount of money. Chapter 233 Gold Selling and Circus. City of 7 Waters, Central Street of Shipbuilding Island. These gold jewelry are of great historical value and are of high purity. My professional valuation is 200 million belly. The appraiser's eyes shone. 200 million belly. Nami had a dissatisfied expression on his face. Yes, if you agree, I will prepare cash right away. Facing the excited appraiser, Nami raised her beautiful legs and the table in front of her shook in fear. Kang. Following Nami's order, Kang immediately appeared. Got it. I got it. Have you never eaten pork or seen pigs running? With a whoosh, a kunai was accurately inserted in front of the appraiser. Kang pulled out the kunai and first performed a kunai with his eyes closed and his fingers inserted. As for why he did this, Kang didn't know, he just thought it was a high standard. You seem to be unable to handle this business. Kang slowly opened his one eye and stared directly at the appraiser opposite who said, I don't understand, but I am shocked. Let me make it clear first, we are big pirates with a bounty of over 100 million. Kang pointed at his head and spoke seriously. It's not that I won't give you a chance, but if you try again. The kunai in Kang's hand moved gently towards the appraiser's eyes, and his voice was cold. I promise you won't be able to see the sun tomorrow. As soon as Kang finished speaking, a thin layer of cold sweat broke out on the appraiser's forehead, and his eyes flickered. It seemed that Kang's thief-like appearance frightened the appraiser. Seeing this, Kang was ready to strike again. He snapped his fingers, and in an instant, a dozen deceptive clones appeared in the room. After finishing everything, Kang spread his hands and leaned back on the sofa leisurely. I'm not targeting anyone, I just want to say, in short, none of you here can fight. As Kang finished speaking, a strong aura of forcing the king filled the air, and the atmosphere in the entire room almost solidified. In the end, Nami carried a suitcase full of Bailey, and the cash problem was solved. 500 million. 500 million Baileys, I didn't expect it could be sold for so much money. Such a small amount of gold is worth 500 million. How many kokoyashi can it buy? Nami suddenly had a golden light in her eyes. How much is her motto worth? You don't care who makes the move. I joined Konoha Anbu when I was 13 years old. I am very talented in negotiation and pressure techniques. I know a little bit. Facing the stinky Kang, Nami rarely paid any attention to him, instead spinning around happily. The best thing I did was to come to the Grand Line. Money is everywhere here. Central Street of Water City, circus camp. Wow, Robin is so awesome. How did you know the circus is here? It was Chopper who spoke. Haha, there should be no one better than me at finding targets in a strange city. Robin said mockingly to himself. Robin, I want to eat marshmallows. Hey, here. Behind Chopper and Robin, a guy wearing a mask and hiding his body in a cloak was watching everything from a short distance away. This was none other than Kang, Shadow Clone, who was playing Tail Clone. Although Dark Crow seemed to have discovered this master, he still kept silent in a tacit understanding. At the same time, a broken boat was moored on the waterway behind the circus. Li Ji, a tired and paralyzed lion, was now drowsy. Now he has developed a lot of muscles, because he not only jumps in circles every day, but also performs fire-breathing performances from time to time. Captain Buggy, why don't we go looking for treasure? Instead, we have to perform a circus performance in this city. Mochi took off his hood and rubbed his pet, the lion Licky, distress-edly. After hearing Mochi's words, Buggy's arms flew out and faced Mochi in a fierce fight. Are you an idiot? Haven't you seen that all my ships are in ruins? This is the Grand Line. Idiot, do you still think it can be opened with just repairs like the East China Sea? Let me tell you a common sense. All pirates from all over the world will change their ships in the Grand Line, even even One Piece Roger is no exception. Mochi covered his swollen face and said aggrievedly, then if you make money like this, how long will it take before you can change a boat? Buggy yelled angrily, then do you have money? You should be happy that Lousy is willing to take you to the Grand Line. What's wrong with letting you make some money? At this time, Kabaji, who had just stepped off the stage on a unicycle, gasped and said, then why not rob? This town seems to be rich. They are pirates. If they don't have money, it's all over. Kabaji was still complaining, but he didn't expect Buggy to shoot a split flying kick. Grab, grab, grab. You just know how to grab. Don't you have any strength and no points? If these two guys weren't idiots and were his confidants, Buggy would have really wanted to blow them up with buggy bombs. Are you questioning your wise captain? Buggy's face was sullen, with an expression that said, if you dare to say one more word, I will blow you up. I don't dare. ×2. Ho. Li Ji shook his head. Familiar smell. Is it an illusion? When Buggy was showing off his intimidating power as a captain, an angry female voice instantly changed Buggy's expression. Buggy the clown, it's your turn to take the stage. What are you doing behind the scenes? Ah, yes, I'll come right away. Buggy was sweating on his forehead and quickly put on his mask. After Buggy left, the two confidants who were left behind breathed a long sigh of relief. The next performance is cutting magic. The performers, the Clown King and his partner the Iron Rod Queen. Oh, the people are real, and so are the knives. The fun is exciting. It looks so dangerous. I wonder if they have a doctor. Chopper looked at the stage in front of him with a cute expression on his face. At this time, the man known as the King of Clowns stood in the center of the stage, wearing an exaggerated clown mask on his face, but there was a trace of imperceptible amusement in his eyes. The Iron Rod Queen beside him, with a heavy iron rod in her hand, a graceful figure, blurred eyes, and a face under the mask, attracted the attention and imagination of the male audience in the audience. King of Clowns, Queen of Iron Rods. In the audience, as the two people entered the stage, people's emotions reached their peak. At the beginning, the performance was just like those old magic tricks, like cutting the body with a black box, nothing new. However, the entertainment items in the pirate world are very scarce, which is enough to make these guys cheer again and again. As the performance progresses, the difficulty also increases. The rows of rotating iron rods have no sharp fangs on them, but gleaming sharp blades. These iron rods are very much like the roller mills of the industrial era. They bite each other tightly, and the sound of cutting the air makes people's hair stand on end. And the man made an unexpected move. He jumped into the center of the rotating blade. The audience was in an uproar, and many people even closed their eyes, not daring to look directly at this horrific scene. Because at the moment when the blade was about to touch the man, his body was suddenly cut into several pieces. Each piece shuttled freely through the gaps of the blade. Finally, after passing through the rotating mace, it was reassembled into the complete King of Clowns. The audience burst into thunderous applause, and Kang was also dumbfounded. Impossible. Absolutely impossible. Sitting a few seats behind Chopper and Robin, our shadow clone Zaken fell into such deep self-doubt that he even forgot to pay attention to Nico Robin. It would be understandable if it was magic before, but now he is sure. The ability this guy is showing now is clearly the fruit in pieces. This is Buggy the Clown. So, that Iron Woman. Circus. Goddamn circus. Are you poisonous? What are you doing here? Roar. It's him. It's it. It's them. Li Ji, who came out to perform, suddenly roared in Kang's direction. This roar confused the animal trainer Mochi. Chapter 234 Arita and Robin are missing. Secure Asset Portal. Your trusted source for secure and informative digital assets. Register with your real phone number and get bonus just for registering. Try for free. Ah, doctor. Chopper looked at Buggy, the clown, who had been smashed into pieces. He was jumping up and down in panic, not feeling anything strange around him at all. Behind him, a female masked face wearing loose clothes suddenly stood up and walked sideways towards Robin. We are CP9. In just such a moment, Robin felt as if he had lost his soul, sweat dripping uncontrollably. Dumb. Dark Crow made a confused cry. It turned to look at the sinister woman walking back like a zombie, full of doubts. Roar. At this moment, a roar of a Hedong lion resounded throughout the venue. The Dark Crow was startled and turned around to face the lion shadow behind the curtain, his eyes sparkling. Yeah, Murkrow, where are you going? Robin. Dark Crow. Chopper looked at the seat next to him with a puzzled look. Yeah. Where's Robin? Poor Chopper didn't know what was happening. He was just about to quietly turn into his beast form when he heard a sound that shocked him. Cuckoo di Chi Kong. Die to me. As the Iron Stick Queen on stage raised her big stick, Chi Kang's face under the mask turned into an emoticon in horror. You got the wrong person. I'm not. Chi Kong lifted the mask, revealing a thrilling face, magazine model Michita. Chi Kong still wanted to make a final struggle, but dumb. I want to have a Pokémon battle with the lion. The Dark Crow landed on Chi Kang's head at an inappropriate time. Chi Kong. Robin is missing. Chopper was quick to cause trouble. Damn, Robin is missing. Chi Kong glanced left and right. Sure enough, that mature lady really disappeared at some point. Sure enough, what is supposed to come will still come. Chi Kong feels that Robin must be brainwashed with Ollie to Uncle. What's the situation? What does this mean, Iron Rod Queen? What is the relationship between this woman and our queen? The circus audience was talking about. How long do you want to keep pretending? Chi Kong. In that case, crush it to me. Open black lens bracket Earth shatter close black lens bracket. As Arita swung her big stick, a wave of power that destroyed the world came, mixed with an unmatched will. Chi Kang's eyes almost popped out of his head. Bah. Conquerors is also a mess. What on earth have you been through? Arita. With the blessing of domineering power. Arita, who was born with divine power, this blow started to break from the circus stage, all the way to Chi Kang's feet, and a shock wave exploded from bottom to top. Boom. Ah. Chi Kong. What's going on? Chopper in the air looked like, who am I and where am I? At this time, Chi Kong had no time to reply to Chopper. He kept waving his hands to stop this crazy woman who came skating with the slippery fruit. Hey, Arita, I swear I haven't used your image recently. Shut up. Arita glared, her anger coming like a tide, and a mental impact forced towards Chi Kong. Chi Kang's legs trembled, his heart palpitated, and Chakra's body became confused. The transformation technique was forced to be lifted. You still have the nerve to say that. How do you explain the images on the wanted poster? Give me a slap. Skull-crushing blow. Open black lens bracket Sharingan close black lens bracket. Whoosh. Bang. FK. Dumb. A wisp of black feathers fell in the air, and Chi Kong was stunned in place, sweating. The mace grazed his head and hit the wall behind him. At the critical moment, Chi Kong used Genjutsu to deceive Arita. Fortunately, this guy's knowledge and color seemed not to be very good. Just this power. Click. Oops. Chi Kong picked up Chopper and Dark Crow and disappeared in an instant. With a boom, the entire circus collapsed. Are all these G Mace's monsters? How did Arita become so strong? Circus ruins. Bah. Captain Buggy. Vice Captain, what's going on? And our business, is it ruined? Mochi trembled. Wei said. Buggy was very aggressive towards Mochi. Nonsense, of course I saw it. Why don't you tell me? Of course Mochi wouldn't dare. What a joke. Their vice captain is a terrifying existence who will beat the captain of the Tame Pirates, the Green Corpse Su Shan, as a sandbag with a bounty of 60 million. Captain, why don't you give up your seat? It was Kabaji who spoke. You're looking for G death. Kabaji. The clown Buggy himself didn't expect that Arita would learn domineering right away after just a few casual lessons. Arita, who possesses divine power and the slippery fruit, managed to master the basic use of weapon colors after wiping out a pirate group by herself. This is also the reason why Buggy is very afraid of this female Tyrannosaurus recently. His men combined are not enough to fight this woman. But this time, the angry Arita actually completed the release of Conquerors unconsciously, which completely made Buggy look stupid. Alita is Conquerors. How come I didn't know that? Alita is obviously an ordinary armed color, Buggy can't miss her. But now he doesn't know how to explain this situation, and he can't understand the new generation guys more and more. If it's really Conquerors, Buggy thinks it's a good idea to train Arita's knowledge, and it's not impossible to lead him to defeat Shanks in a few years. You've received a good crew member. Buggy thought cheesily. Captain Buggy, although I was beaten by you, I still said the same thing, how about we change the captain? Kabaji continued to insist with a bruised nose and a swollen face. Question mark. All F*** G let you change. Let's use this state to reflect carefully on who was the captain. After dealing with Kabaji, Buggy put on his gloves again and turned to look at Mochi. Do you think so too? No. Don't dare. Kabaji has always been thinking about the position of deputy captain. You know me, Captain Buggy. I am your most loyal horse boy. Then why don't you stop Arita? I don't have any money to pay. Buggy urged. Ah. Center Street. Kang's perception, ninjutsu feedback, and Dark Crow's vision feedback, none of them found Nico Robin. This guy seemed to have disappeared. Bruno. Kang confirmed, it must be the Robin who was taken away by this guy, a gate fruit user with the strongest secret, the gate of opening air. Chopper popped his head out, looked at the terrifying woman chasing after her on the street, and said, Kang. This woman is more terrifying than Nami. Who is she? Kang didn't know how to explain it to Chopper, so he threw Chopper out and shouted without looking back. Chopper, let's run separately. This is just a shadow clone of mine. Although this body is just a shadow clone, it can still get rid of Alita, whose speed and insight are obvious shortcomings. Kang thinks so, but, roar, Lion Licky, why are you here? I don't have time to fight. Kang was speechless. Swish swish, he turned around and entered the back alley, flying over the walls and raising his right hand, and ordered. Dark Crow, first find a place called Bruno's Tavern. Chapter 235 Iceberg and Khalifa. On the way back, Kang and Nami met the purchasing trio unexpectedly. Then we happened to encounter another dispute between boatmen and pirates. It all just happened. So, everyone came to Carrera Company's #1 dock with large and small bags. Originally, Kang didn't want to come. None of the shipwrights here were the guys Luffy was looking for, but then he thought about it and realized that everyone and Frankie didn't have much interaction yet, so they just followed the plot. Standing in front of him now is a man with a long nose similar to Usopp's, except that this man's nose is square in shape instead of Usopp's round nose. This person is none other than Shanfeng, one of the undercover members of CP9 named Kaku. Luffy oh. After seeing this person, Luffy fell into a constipated silence. After a moment, he clapped his hands and said firmly, it turns out to be Usopp. Sanji, Nami, Kai Kong, and Usopp were all shocked as if struck by lightning. How could this be Usopp? What do you eat for your eyes? Sanji complained weakly. Usopp exclaimed, that's right. I'm here, Luffy. His nose is square, Nami reminded. For this idiot captain, the characteristics must be clearly stated. That's right, we are here to see Mr. Bingshan. After Nami explained his purpose, Kaku explained that icebergs are not that easy to see. In short, the reason is, the boss is very busy and has a full schedule, so he most likely has no time to care about such trivial matters. So, Kaku decided to go see the situation of the melee first and decide the damage first. Ever since, fly. This is, hello, fishing guy. Sanji looked at Kang with a confused look on his face. He seemed to see, Shao, and, moonwalk, but it didn't look like it. What's wrong, Sanji? Kang asked knowingly, but he was complaining in his heart. I'm not G good at using the 6 styles skills blatantly. Just like that, Kaku flew away with paper painting in front of Luffy and the others. Don't worry about him. Everyone calls him Shanfeng. Flying over roofs and walls is a common occurrence for him. Worried. I'm worried about these people blowing up, okay. Kang couldn't help but complain. The person who came was none other than the mayor of the Seven Waters City, the boss of Carrera Company, the person Kaku said was very rare to see, Bingshan Ace Bagu, who named the mouse he picked up. Tyrannosaurus, wayward guy. The guy fishing over there, this is the wastewater from the dock, and there are no fish in it. Where there is an iceberg, there must be his secretary. The one who said this now was the beautiful secretary of the iceberg, Khalifa. Gold glasses, yellow top, black hip skirt, sexy over-the-knee boots and high heels. A very capable beautiful secretary. Faced with Khalifa's doubts, Kang dismissed it. No fish. Kang didn't even raise his head, and came with serious words. When I fish, I never consider whether there are fish in it, because what I catch is not fish, but happiness, loneliness, and enlightenment. Maybe it's because the wastewater pool can't stand anymore, but the Supreme Speed Rod actually has a living animal interface. A strange lumbered fish was seen shining brightly in the sun. Bingshan and Khalifa couldn't stand the sight. 0.7 inches forced appointment, physique. Wooden fish. What is this? Kang looked at the strange fish about 10 centimeters in front of him, or rather, wood. He was sure it was a fish he didn't recognize. Kang also wanted to ask Sanji, but in the end. Huh, beautiful lady, do you want to have a date? Okay. Tisk tisk tisk. Sanji is so fast. Khalifa is also Kang's favorite type. But, this woman appears to be a secretary, but is actually one of CP9's undercover agents. That's right, Mr. Iceberg is surrounded by people who are undercover agents of CP9. What is CP9? An agent organization that is independent of Marine and under the direct leadership of the world government. It is composed of agents trained to engage in various secret activities, such as assassinations, espionage, etc. Speaking of which, CP9's agents are very similar to ninjas, except that the agents of this organization are better at hand-to-hand combat. Don't be rude. Khalifa's long legs were already attacking Sanji. By the way, you are wearing a hip-hugging skirt. How dare you? Ouch. White. Kang Sharingan's dynamic vision is so clear. Don't get me wrong, our Kong is just copying body data. However, Sanji must have seen it, and his nosebleed came out. Hold on Sanji, hold on just a little longer. Kang's eyes are rulers. Height 185 centimeters, leg length 114 centimeters, golden ratio. If you want to use the perfect transformation technique, other data such as body measurements, fat mass, and touch must be measured manually. There is no way, Kang is such a perfectionist. You are sexually harassing me. Khalifa, who kicked Sanji into a pig's head, looked at Kang and kicked the ninja again. Kang, no, you've noticed that I'm so hidden. You also said you don't know martial arts. However, now that it's delivered to your door. Kanglong moved like a tiger, and everyone could only see an afterimage. It didn't take long for Khalifa to be restrained. Catch it. Give it a pinch. B 93 centimeters, G cup, W 61 centimeters, H 92 centimeters. But now, the atmosphere is suddenly a little awkward. Ahem. Actually, I'm a nutritionist. I'm just measuring Miss Khalifa's fat content and skin laxity. Kang tried his best to explain. Because Nami's fist is already hard. Do you think I'm an idiot? Boom. Boom. Kong fell next to Sanji. Good brothers. Let's lie down together, but I will definitely not lose. Nami covered her face. These people are so shameful. So shameful. Nami stared at Luffy and Usopp with fierce eyes, as if to say, be honest with me. Usopp and Luffy trembled. Khalifa still wanted to whip the corpse, but... Okay, Khalifa. Bingshan, who was bruised and swollen, stopped the farce. Ah, you've turned into a pig too. Times 3. Faced with the shock of Luffy and the others, Bingshan, whose face was swollen, shed tears of sadness. I can't help it, the angry Khalifa is so indifferent to the enemy. After knowing that he was Iceberg, Nami also handed him the letter of introduction from Granny Kokura. This is a letter of introduction from Grandma Kokuluo. The iceberg tore into pieces instantly. Ah, this frightened Luffy and the others. Nami sold the two of them directly. If it's because of those two guys just now, you can beat them up. No, twice. Please help us repair the ship. We have a lot of money. Usopp and Luffy also begged. No problem. Everyone thought they disagreed, but who knew that Bingshan agreed casually? It's just the lip print on the letter that makes me feel uncomfortable. Granny Kokuluo was my drinking buddy when I was young. After Bingshan explained, he motioned to everyone not to worry and would wait until Kaku finished determining the damage. At this moment, a boatman ran over in a hurry and panted. Mr. Bingshan, a citizen reported that someone was causing trouble near the circus on Central Street and was extremely destructive. Chapter 236 The Hero of the Water City, Bruno's Tavern. Center Street. Boom. Arita, stop chasing us. It's impossible for us. Kang, Shadow Clone, climbed over the walls all the way, and the Flame Lion Knight Arita behind him was demolished all the way, and the citizens along the way screamed in surprise. Help. What is going on? Someone dares to run wild in the capital of Seven Waters. Did that woman do it? Isn't she afraid that the boatmen will deal with them? This act of destruction soon caused panic among the citizens. The citizens panicked and fled one after another, but their panic did not last long. Because they saw a familiar figure, the foreman of Carrera Company, Lucci and Barry arrived, and their heroes have arrived. It's Carrera's foreman. It's Foreman Lucci and Foreman Barry. Wow, is this Lucci? So handsome. Lucci. Hearing the crowd's shouts, Kang braked suddenly and popped his head because he heard a familiar name. I saw a man wearing a jumpsuit, a black hat, and a delicate mustache walking out slowly. His eyes were as calm as water, and there was a dove on his shoulder. He is the current ventriloquist, the shipbuilder foreman at Dockyard Number 1, and his true identity is the Axe Gang. Ah no, the captain of CP9 Rob Lucci. Hey, shameless woman, take off the mask. The person speaking now is the straight man who uses knots as weapons, Barry, one of the poor people whose feelings were deceived by CP9. Let's solve it quickly. You won't stop because he is a woman, right? It was Lucci's pigeon who spoke, or Lucci spoke in his unique way. HMPH. The moving knot. Barry's rope was like a lasso, easily roping Alita who was like a crusher. Arita immediately noticed the knot around her neck, but she didn't care. Punishment. Barry whirled over his shoulder and threw him. With a whoosh, the rope fell off and Barry was left eating shit. What's going on? Barry touched his dog's head, looking confused. Lucci frowned on the side, raised his hammer in his hand, and used shave to instantly appear behind Alrita and hit Alrita with a hammer on the back of her head. Boom. Whoosh. The hammer slid away. Slippery fruit. Lucci narrowed his eyes slightly, recognizing Arita's ability. Get out of my way. Arita turned around and hit Lucci with a blow. Open black lens bracket paper painting close black lens bracket. Kang vomited blood. Didn't this person even pretend to be there? Marine 6 style came here casually. Are you afraid that others won't know that you are an undercover agent? Boom. The moment Lucci dodged, the house beside him shattered. Barry was so stunned that the cigar in his mouth almost dropped from his mouth. This shameless woman, what kind of power is this? Domineering. Lucci patted the dust around him. If it weren't for his undercover status and his need to keep a low profile, she wouldn't take this woman seriously at all. This guy is a bit tricky, he should be a devil fruit user. Lucci said, his eyes inadvertently glanced at Kang on the roof. Have you been discovered? What a strong sense. Kang withdrew his head and glanced at the dark crow in the distance. The dark crow flapped its wings and began to land. It seemed that Bruno's tavern was found. Bruno's tavern, entrance. A regular customer drunkenly complained to the door. Did this guy Bruno also go to the carnival to join in the fun? Before he finished speaking, a strange crow landed on the skylight on the roof of the tavern and screamed, "Dumb. Dumb," as if in response to the drunkard's complaints. In the tavern at this time, Bruno held the menu and asked with a smile, "What would you like to order?" The person sitting on the bar opposite him is none other than our missing royal sister, Robin. "What exactly is your commander going to do?" Robin's eyes showed a trace of doubt and vigilance, and she wanted to know the true purpose of CP9. Why does Nicole Robin look so willing? Because at that time Bruno said something in her ear, which existed like a nightmare in her heart. Buster Call. Buster Call is an inhumane attack that burns everything. It is launched by the General organization and is equivalent to the ultimate deterrent in the pirate world. 1 general plus 5 elite lieutenant generals plus 10 elite major generals plus nearly 10,000 marine elites plus 10 top battleships equals Buster Call. It was Sengoku, then general, who launched the Buster Call in O'Hara 20 years ago, and the lieutenant generals who participated in the war at that time were Kuzan and Sakazuki Akainu. Such a lineup is indeed terrifying, so it has become an eternal nightmare in Nicole Robin's heart. Now, the leader of CP9, Spandam, is using this fear to threaten Robin. If he does not cooperate, he will target the Straw Hats. This is why Robin voluntarily followed and left. Alas, once the son of the devil is shackled by emotions, he can only be a chess piece to be manipulated at will. As for Spandam's target, it is the Pluton design hidden in the capital of Seven Waters. That's right, it's the weapon with the name of the god recorded in the text of Alabasta's history. It's what Lao Sha wants in his dreams. And here, there are actually design drawings. If Lao Sha knew about it, he would definitely cry and faint in the compartment of the great prison at the bottom of the sea. Bruno poured a cup of coffee and said softly, "Someone will tell you the next task later, so just wait here with peace of mind." Bruno suddenly noticed something while pouring coffee and disappeared. When he appeared again, he had a black crow in his hand. Dumb. This is your Straw Hat's pet. The black crow, right? Bruno said meaningfully. Don't hurt it. Bruno's bar entrance. Where is Dark Crow? Chi Kong frowned. He glanced around randomly and finally found a sign at the corner of the shore. Bruno's tavern is right here. With a bang, Chi Kong turned into Albero. HMPH. Then don't blame me, Arita. Let me continue to sing about your beauty. Chi Kong, can you be a human being? Shadow clone. I am you, don't push me. Chi Kong took out the same big stick as Arita from his crotch, Thunder 8 trigrams. As sawdust flew, the door of the tavern burst open. In the dim tavern, there is no sunlight. 3 Magatama Sharingan glanced around and found no one. But the warm coffee cup and the black bird feathers on the ground said it all. The Dark Crow is Chi Kang's most special psychic beast. He can sense the breath of life and found that the Dark Crow's breath of life is still abundant. Chi Kong resisted the urge to use psychic skills. Chi Kong sat in Nico Robin's seat, as if possessed by Conan, deducing what happened at that time and feeling her mood at that time. After a while, as expected of an agent of CP9, he is too cautious and disappears at the slightest sign of trouble. Your family is gone. Bruno. Chapter 237 Frankie attacks. Center Street. Barry tried his best and finally trapped the lion Licky with a knot, but faced Arita, he was helpless. This woman's skin is too slippery. The key is this power. It's too terrifying. How about asking Lulu and Dailu to bring some tools? The 2 people Barry was talking about were also foremen, because he had figured out what was going on with Arita. As long as the woman opposite wanted to, all attacks would be deflected. And our undercover, Lu Chi, was also a little annoyed. He really heard the noise coming from the direction of Bruno's tavern. Arita's fruit ability and ordinary attacks on the opposite side are indeed a bit difficult to deal with, but he is not an ordinary boatman, and he doesn't know how to be domineering. Asterisk. Mo Guy, the strongest person in CP9 for 800 years, can't be justified. Lu Chi swung a hammer flower, and there was a hint of wool on the hammer. Although this hammer is just an ordinary carpenter's hammer, Lu Chi was bored here for probably 2.5 years. As Lu Chi disappeared, when he reappeared, his figure had appeared on the wall behind Arita. Why not on the ground around Alita? Because the place where this girl walked was as smooth as a mirror, as if it had been waxed. This is Arita's ability, Slippery Passage. Seeing Lu Chi appear, Arita showed no reaction. At this moment, a rough female voice came. Rob Lu Chi, what are you going to do to my sister? Question mark. For the first time, there was a hint of panic on Lu Chi's calm face. In his perception of seeing and hearing, a fat lady appeared next to him. That's right, it was Chi Kong Albio, wearing a mask who appeared. Clang. Big Stick versus Black Hammer. Lu Chi's Black Hammer sneak attack was blocked by Chi Kong. The moment Chi Kong stretched out his left hand, water vapor filled Lu Chi's body. Exclamation mark. Lu Chi was startled and had no time to pull out the stuck Black Hammer. Moonwalk stepped on it and distanced himself from Chi Kong. Just after Lu Chi left, a ball of water suddenly appeared, and it turned out to be water-style water prison technique. Sure enough, it's not that easy. Chi Kong was still pitying, when Arita's angry shout came from behind. Who is your sister? You will die for me. Cool. Open black lens bracket wind escape great breakthrough close black lens bracket. A storm swept across the entire venue with Chi Kong as the center, and in an instant everyone and everything was swept away by the storm. Chi Kong swung a hammer. If Chi Kong felt it right, this hammer should be a black hammer, which means that it is a weapon that can carry chakra like the golden pila. It seems that the sealing techniques on his arm will have another weapon. That man can only be mine. I don't allow you to call his name. After Kang said something coquettish to Alita, who was flying away, he stuffed the black hammer into his crotch and disappeared with a bang. Aboard the Mary, Boss Frankie, there seems to be only one person. We want both the bounty and the boat. I'm such a pervert, ha ha ha. Chirp, chirp, Shang Naniao warned. Who are you? Zoro held 3 knives in his hand and looked murderously at the idiots surrounding him. There is one of them that Zoro cares about very much. He has a bold personality and likes to sing, dance, and pose. It's just that he only wore a pair of sexy briefs on his lower body, with hairy legs and bare feet. This is a pervert no matter how you look at it. This person is the future chief boatman of the Straw Hat Pirates, Frankie, whose real name is Katie Flam. He is a perverted reformer who likes to eat hamburgers, French fries and Coke. His dream is to board the dream ship he built, reach the end of the sea. Even if Kang is here now, he still can't understand why Frankie took the lead in attacking Melee. We are ship dismantling experts and part-time bounty hunters, the Super Frankie family. Super. ×2. The classic 3+1 abnormal appearance. We want your ship. As Frankie shouted, a fist flew out from his right hand. Strong right hand. The back end of the fist is connected to the chain with the arm. Frankie's move is similar to Luffy's rubber pistol. It's just that one is so-called science, and the other is devil fruit. Clang. The fist was bounced away by Zoro, but when the thick fist landed on the Melee, it immediately made a big hole. Zoro. Sigma Chuan. It's over. Will this be laughed at by the fishing guys? Zoro was already sweating when he thought of the resentful looks in Usopp's and Angler's eyes. Hey, hey, hey. You were looking for death. Don't destroy it. Question mark, question mark, question mark. Isn't this what you did? This is just a Callaway-style triangular sail, and it also has obvious 4 C's craftsmanship. What is the use of this ship in the Grand Line? Let us dismantle it. Frankie belittled Melee wantonly, as if being torn down was her destiny. Young men, destroy it. Leave this person to me. Yes, Boss Frankie. Painful fingers. Bew, bew. Frankie's pistol hidden in his index finger fired lead bullets at Zoro. Zoro's forehead was sweating, and he waved 3 knives at the same time, forming an airtight defense network that blocked all the lead bullets shot by Frankie. It's interesting. Frankie adjusted his sunglasses, a fighting spirit flashed in his eyes. What's going on with this man? He doesn't look human at all. Zoro was filled with doubts about Frankie. Because in his perception after turning on the sight, this guy has the breath of iron, the breath of flesh and blood, etc., all kinds of things. We can't let these people continue to destroy us. This is Suo Da. If you don't understand something, you won't think about it anymore. Just move forward and cut it off. 3-sword style. Crow demon hunting. Facing Zoro, who suddenly appeared in front of him, Frankie just smiled. Fell into a trap. At this time, Frankie's butt grew strangely. Puff. The fart made Zoro jump away, leaving Zoro and Melee with confused faces with another big hole. Flying. Frankie's offensive in the air had just begun. He took a deep breath. Purifying flame. A huge fireball shot straight towards Zoro on the deck. Ninja skills. Suo Da raised his head and was confused again. Isn't this the great fireball technique? Fishing fellow, you have today too. Zoro stood still and smiled crookedly. Cut the flames. Mito stream. 108 troubles wind. As he roared, the sword wind was released like a storm, and countless small and sharp slashes intertwined into a huge net to meet the fireball fired by Frankie. Crash. The wind blade collided with the fireball, making a harsh cutting sound. The fireball was cut into countless pieces in midair, and the flames scattered, but not a single spark could touch the Melee. Ding ding ding. Frankie's arm turned into a small shield, blocking most of the damage from slashing attacks. Frankie spun and jumped, landing in a perverted pose, but he was surprised at Zoro's strength. This boy's swordsmanship. He originally thought that his modified body and special skills would be enough to catch the opponent off guard, but he didn't expect that the swordsman would defeat him so easily. Seeing that Frankie was still fine even though he was covered in slashes, Zoro turned into shark teeth and said, "What kind of monster are you?" Interesting. Come again. Frankie, who was still posing after landing, shouted. HMPH. Zoro put the sword into its sheath, preparing to charge up one move, the 2-sword style II. Regardless of whether they are humans or ghosts, this blow will make all living beings equal. But, the Frankie family. Stop it, me. Zoro and Frankie looked at the figure in the sky, and both panicked. Usopp, Kaku. Young men, get out. Frankie jumped up, clasping his hands in the air, a 70mm gun barrel stretched out, and a large amount of air condensed. Feng Lai Pao. A strong gust of wind spurted out, and an air cannon powerful enough to destroy a huge sailboat was fired, targeting Kaku in the air. After the fire, there is still wind. You still said you don't know how to ninjutsu. Chapter 238 Iceberg's advice, find Frankie. Doc no. 1. Quote. That's it, Mr. Iceberg. Following the boatman's report, Bingshan frowned and stopped groping for the Tyrannosaurus. After a while, okay, Lu Chi, Barry, you help Khalifa count casualties and city losses. After fulfilling his responsibilities as mayor, Bingshan went to the Straw Hats. At this time, Kaku was explaining to them the whole story of the attack on the Melee and the current situation of the ship. Quote. All of this was done by the French family. They are the notorious bullies here. Kaku said with a trace of helplessness. It'll be okay to fix it, right? Usopp and Luffy said anxiously. Kaku nodded. Well, although it is serious, the overall condition of your ship is very good. There will be no problem if the ship is repaired. After hearing this, everyone breathed a sigh of relief. Kong, where is the shadow clone you left behind? Nami looked at the fishing guy, wanting an explanation. But Kong seemed to be constipated. The memories from Shadow Clone had shocked him, and now he was told that Frankie led the team to destroy Melee. Isn't the way the plot unfolds wrong? Isn't it right that a group of younger brothers came to attack and then were killed by Zoro? Sanji took a deep breath of cigarette and said disgustedly, that idiot with the green algae head, it's true. He can't handle even the smallest things. Kaku looked at everyone and seemed to hesitate to speak. At this time, the iceberg arrived. Kaku turned around and sighed at the approaching iceberg. Mr. Bingshan, I am really shocked. You don't know that it is just an ordinary boat, not even as good as the fishing boats in our city. But it is a miracle that it was preserved so well on the Grand Line. Bingshan nodded. He had just learned the specific information from Kaku, and also knew the reason why Kaku hesitated to speak. There is no problem in repairing it, but I advise you to change the ship. Bingshan's words were full of seriousness. Exclamation mark exclamation mark exclamation mark exclamation mark. What do you mean? Luffy and Usopp jumped out almost at the same time, doubts and confusion evident in their expressions. With all due respect, this ship is not suitable for traveling on the Grand Line at all. Everyone was confused after hearing Bingshan's words. Why, we have obviously been sailing well. Yes, we won't change the ship. Just repair it. Usopp and Luffy were determined. Refused to change ship. Faced with their stubbornness, Bingshan continued to explain. Since you set foot on the Grand Line, you should have experienced the unpredictable weather here, and you may encounter various emergencies at any time, which places extremely high demands on ships. Even so, compared to the harsh conditions in the New World, it's mild here. Most shipbuilders from all over the world have never experienced the extreme climate of paradise, so the ships they design often lack necessary functions. So, almost all pirate groups that set out from all over the world will change ships during some part of the journey along the Grand Line, even One Piece Roger is no exception. Do you understand me? I want to be the Straw Hat Luffy of One Piece. After Bingshan finished speaking, he waited for everyone's reaction. After a while, Sanji murmured, is this even true for One Piece? What will happen if we don't change? Nami asked. Although there were mottos, her feelings for Melee were the same as everyone else's. Bingshan's eyes swept across the crowd and felt their deep feelings for the ship. Those pirates who insisted on not changing ships, without exception, eventually disappeared in that wild sea. After Bingshan finished speaking, the scene fell into silence. I don't understand. Why do you have to change the ship? Can't you choose reinforcement? Use the best materials to renovate it, can't you? Usopp said hoarsely. He had a very bad premonition. Faced with Usopp's roar, Carrera's boss, Iceberg, began to explain patiently. Because the reason why your ship is because of the keel. Keel. Iceberg opens Shikai explains what a dragon bone is. The so-called keel is the main component that runs from bow to stern, and all other components are centered on it, just like the human heart. Because Melee's keel is made of ordinary wood, the upper limit of load-bearing capacity and material cannot bear the so-called reinforcement at all, and replacing the keel is equivalent to changing a ship. Okay, the reason has been explained. I'm just giving you a piece of advice. It's up to you to decide. But, he looked at Pirate Wong Luffy, isn't it the captain's responsibility to be responsible for the team and the crew? Bingshan's words directly broke Luffy's guard, and he became rarely silent while he was chattering. Hey, Luffy, don't believe him. He must want to make more money. Usopp panicked. Hey, Luffy, you speak. You don't know how to. No. At this time, Kang's voice interrupted Usopp. Anyway, we must fix it. As he said that, he looked at everyone. Melee is our partner, isn't she? Luffy, as long as the keel is still there will always be a way. If it doesn't work here, then look for other places. The material limitations of the keel cannot be excessively strengthened. This is indeed a problem. But they have another option. I went to ask an acquaintance, you guys go back first. With that said, Kang threw the fish bucket to Nami and left without looking back. Kang is now going to find Frankie. Compared with the normal and traditional shipwrights, Frankie, a guy who escapes and doesn't play by the rules, is the guy who is most likely to solve the problem of Melee's keel. Even if Kang is beaten, he still has to come up with a plan. I'll go with Kang. Hearing that Kang was looking for someone, Usopp hurriedly followed him. After the two guys who loved Melee the most left. What? The acquaintance you are talking about is the B************ D who destroyed Mary. The voice of Usopp driving blue attracted all the pedestrians on the road. It's not Usopp's fault. After listening to Kang's words, our sniper was almost D to death. Find the guy who wants to tear down Melee and transform Melee. What is this? You don't want to dismantle Mary, or dismantle the keel. Didn't you listen to that guy? Usopp shouted with his nose pointed at Kang. Although Kang is a bit perverted, Usopp doesn't believe him if he is said to be brainless at critical moments. I wouldn't do such a thing. Kang didn't know how to explain. Although it was outrageous, Usopp still chose to believe Kang in the end, because he could see Kang's love for Melee. By the way, you may need to take action. It's still too late for you to leave now. Of course, this is the best opportunity to avenge Meili. You need to think clearly. Kang said. The Frankie family are not serious people, fighting is the normal way of communication, and by making Meili like this, they need to teach future newcomers a lesson. Move, hand. Aren't you asking for help? Chapter 239 Rhinoceros Horn Wooden Fish, Negotiation. Secure Asset Portal, your trusted source for secure and informative digital assets. Register with your real phone number and get bonus just for registering. Try for free. Rockfield Bay, in front of Frankie's house. Kang summoned a shadow clone, and the original body. The main body took out his big stick and walked towards the cliff because he remembered that the French family seemed to have two giant blue kings. Usopp. Gate of opening. Shadow clone's voice came. Ah, oh, boom, boom, boom. Excuse me, is anyone there? Usopp was still knocking on the door politely. Kang was speechless and kicked directly towards the door of this strange building in front of him. As the door shattered, all that came into view were tall, short, fat and thin gangsters with guns and cannons. And this group of people seems to be still having a party. Usopp hid behind Kang and murmured in a low voice. Kang, the difference between these people and ordinary boat workers is too big, right? Everyone in the house was stunned for a moment when they saw the broken door, and then immediately became vigilant. Boatman, how dare you come here to look for a boatman, ha ha ha. The younger brother of the French family laughed loudly. Where are you idiots? This is the territory of the French family. We only dismantle ships, never build them. That's right, it's not shoe. That's right, it's demolition. The speakers were Kiwi and Maz, collectively known as the Sisters of Square. They were Frankie's female companions and were inseparable from Frankie. I'm looking for Frankie. Kang walked straight into the house. Since the two sisters were here, Frankie must be nearby. Get out. A younger brother raised a chair and smashed it down at Kang, but after meeting Kang's eyes, he immediately froze on the spot, and then started to attack the surroundings randomly like a madman. You are the red demonic eyes and self-destruction master of the Straw Hat Pirates. The speaker was Zanbai, the captain of the Frankie family, and he recognized the person. Swish, swish, swish. The machine guns and cannons were all aimed at Kang and Usopp. You actually delivered it to my door. Idiot, there is a big pirate with a bounty of over 100 million across the street. Go and ask for Boss Frankie. There was a hail of bullets, and Kang and Usopp, who knew they were going to fight, were already prepared. Open black lens bracket wind escape press damage close black lens bracket. The violent storm turned into an air cannon and swept forward. The bounty hunters in the hall instantly rolled into a ball and fell to the ground. Some who were far away didn't even know what was happening. A huge hole was left in their boss's seat, and then the strong wind crushed the entire building like a knife. In one move, Frankie's house was demolished, the trash fish were cleared away, and the remaining ones were considered acquaintances with their own skills. What happened? This is Boss Frankie's wind-lie cannon. The answer to the Frankie family's doubts was Usopp's point kill. Must kill fire twin stars. Must kill stinky star. Must kill explosive star. Moldy board times 1, huge rivet times 1. Kang is fishing leisurely in Yanba Bay. The atmosphere here is very depressing. Various rotten trees are floating on the water, and their predecessors may be various ships. As expected of a ship-breaking yard, this place is simply a graveyard of ships, and the prosperity of the shipyard is completely two extremes. Boom. Suddenly, a strong wind passed by, and Frankie's house instantly collapsed and turned into dust. Plop, plop. What was originally a noisy party turned into a group swimming for drowned dogs and became the nest material of fishermen. Maybe it's the reason for nesting. Kang was delighted. I took the bait. 2.5 inches strong appointment, physique. Wooden fish. No, this time the wooden fish is extraordinary. This is a wooden fish with horns like a rhinoceros. What the hell is this? So ugly. Kang threw it into the fish bucket in disgust and threw the rod again, preparing to ask Sanji if he could eat it later. Ouch. This nest is a good one. I took the bait again. This time it's 4 inches forced appointment, physiques. As the fishing line was retracted, 2 women hung on the fishhook, 2 square women, Maz and Kivi. These were 2 thin women who were about to run away if the wind blew them. So 4 strong ones equals 1 Moki. Damn straw hats, what have you done? The one who spoke was Frankie, who had returned from changing Coca-Cola. A perverted reformer who uses cola as energy. The principle of energy is still an unsolved mystery in the pirate circle. Frankie stared at Usopp with splitting eyes. He could only change his Coke, but his family was gone. The evil one complained first. Usopp, who instantly hid behind Kang, retorted, it was obviously you who made the first move. You be asterisk 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 D who attacked Mary. Kang took back the fishing rod and looked at the guy with hairy thighs. Why is this pervert so pleasing to the eye? B asterisk 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 D. Kang shook his head and got rid of the miscellaneous thoughts. Frankie, you're here, you destroyed Meili, I demolished your home, and our grudges have been wiped out. Now, I'm here to help you. You're looking for death. Frankie waved his iron fist and was about to attack. Kang calmly stretched out 2 fingers, 200 million belly. Bang. Usopp and Frankie were both shocked. So super. You are quite a nice person. Come on, you guys sit down for a while and we can discuss the specific projects in detail. Frankie put the useless seats in place, then waved his hand. Moz, Kiwi, serve tea, serve good tea. Prepare a perverted dance for the guests. You change your face too quickly. Boss, ×2. After all, we were at fault first. Frankie adjusted his underwear and shook his hair, trying to look more formal. Just kidding, the lightsaber warrior is so strong, this guy will never go to heaven. And this is 200 million belly. With this money, he can start the business of Treasure Tree Adam. At this time, Usopp whispered in Kang's ear, "Hey, Kang, shouldn't we ask them to do it for free? With so much money, Nami will go crazy, right? Of course we will take out the loan together. You don't want me to take out the loan alone. This is all for Meili," Kang said. Question mark. Usopp, can you just be AF G human? Kang also prepared the money to transform Meili in the future. Anyway, he knew what Frankie used the money to do, buy legendary materials. In the original work, Frankie's family robbed Usopp of 200 million, and Frankie immediately bought the treasure tree Adam. This pervert has a considerable obsession with shipbuilding. 200 million to repair that broken ship. After listening to Kang's request, Frankie began to doubt his life. With this kind of money, it would be enough to build a big ship. Usopp Sharktooth, you are the broken ship, and your whole family is a broken ship. Frankie shook his head. No, I mean, if I had known better, I wouldn't have demolished it. I would have made 200 million in vain. Usopp looked shocked. How could there be such a shameless person? Learned. Kang was also shocked beyond measure. Sure enough, it was not the same family that refused to enter the house. Of course, in addition to repair, there are other requirements, but the salary is 200 million, which I can agree to. Kang said. Come and feel the atmosphere of the Straw Hats first. Frankie was ready to take action after hearing this, but. I have a question, why are you looking for me? Frankie pushed down his glasses and stared at Kang warily. You should hire professionals for this. We are a ship-breaking yard. Instead of looking for Carrera, he came for himself. Frankie had every reason to suspect that there was a conspiracy. That's right, we don't know how to repair boats, but when it comes to dismantling them, we are professional Frankies. Maz and Kiwi sang in harmony. Frankie had such an expression on his face. Kang, stop pretending, I don't know you yet. I'm trying to reason with you but you won't listen. Then Usopp, prepare the rope. Question mark. Isn't it a negotiation? Kang's operation almost caused Usopp to dodge. Isn't your span too big? So what is the negotiation process just now? Let's get to know each other again, Cuckoo D Kang. He is a fishing guy who likes to reason. Since the truth doesn't make sense, I also know a little bit about ninjutsu. Open black lens bracket Sharingan close black lens bracket. Chapter 240 Valpo Alloy. Frankie, the cyborg, does have something, after a flashy ninjutsu and technology battle. The two met very late. Because Frankie said that if he had been a few months earlier, he would have beaten the shit out of Kang. There is no way, who lets Kang know this guy's weakness? It was already evening when we returned to the melee. Everyone was relieved after seeing Kang and Usopp back, but Robin's disappearance left others confused. Kang touched the broken melee. He and Usopp had beaten Zerotus to shame. Now Zerotus only wanted to be a paramecium. And Frankie, you did this to Meili and Kokoyasi's oranges. It's unforgivable. Nami's anger turns into thunder. It seems whoever stops him will die. Woo. The one who was wailing was Frankie and the Moki Cube head combo. After everyone saw Nami calm down, Luffy started to talk angrily, telling everyone about their journey with Mary. When it was learned that Meili might still have the existence of a ship spirit. The charred Frankie was deeply impressed by the bond of the Straw Hats, and was so moved that Super couldn't help it. You actually regard the ship as a companion who will accompany you day and night all the way from the East China Sea. I actually did such a thing to your friends, I deserve to die. I really deserve to die. Woo-hoo-hoo. It's so noisy, why are you crying? You didn't dismantle Mary. Usopp repaired the Mary number while turning his head and glaring at the pervert next to him who had been R******D. Your skills were better than yours even when I was born from my mother's womb. Frankie belittled Usopp to the point of being useless. Then why don't you hurry up and fix it? Nami looked at her with a core good look. Yes, big sister, ×3. Although he is not a newcomer to Straw Hat yet, Nami's thunder seems to be a perfect match for the reformer. Laser welding, hand saw cutting, endless power. It has to be said that as the apprentice of Tom, the legendary shipbuilder, Frankie, the reformer, still has two brushes in his craftsmanship. After finishing repairing Mary, Frankie started to recuperate. As the apprentice of the world's top shipbuilder, Frankie could see at a glance that the ship was unable to support the second half of the Grand Route. Then, my former partners, they will be eliminated in history. The north wind is bleak, and they are miserable. A guitar plays the Arhu feeling. Love is deep. It hurts so much. Frankie is the lead singer. Moji Duo is the accompaniment, plus the enchanting perverted dance of one person and two women. It's really. You are so interesting. Come be my partner, Luffy said with excitement in his voice. So gregarious. This thought came to everyone's mind. Sorry, I am the spiritual leader of the French family. It is impossible for me to leave this city. Luffy wants Frankie to get on the ship, which is a bit whimsical. The reason why Frankie gave up his identity as a shipwright and made a living by dismantling ships was related to the death of a person. Tom, the shipbuilder who built Roger's ship for One Piece. It was precisely because Frankie built the warship that Spangdam used it to make a fuss, which ultimately led to Tom's death. Although Tom told him that the shipbuilder and the ship were innocent, Frankie still could not untie the knot, so Frankie was willing to be a shipbreaker and silently guard the island. However, the Straw Hat's super bond with the ship made him feel different emotions, and they turned enemies into friends. Then pay 200 million Baileys. Frankie stretched out his hand. What? 200 million? Are you crazy about money? Nami's thunder flashed. But, click, click, 2 safes were opened. Here are 200 million belly. Open black lens bracket thunder fist close black lens bracket. Open black lens bracket substitute technique Zoro close black lens bracket. Zoro. I can bear it. Listen to me, Nami, Usopp and I loaned this money together. And there's a chance he can fix that. Of course, that refers to the motto, but you have to eat in one bite and solve Mei Li's problem first. Seeing Nami frowning and stopping, Kang quickly told his purpose, the money is here. However, we want you to come up with a way to upgrade Mei Li. Of course, including upgrading the dragon bone. For this, I can offer you a price you can't imagine. Frankie was about to refuse when Kang's voice came. That guy Bingshan only knows traditional shipbuilding, but you are different. You are full of imagination. I believe you have a way to solve it. These words seemed very common, but they seemed to say everything. After hearing this, Frankie was stunned, his eyes were murderous, and he thought about something in an instant. So you know me. This is why you want to invite me on the ship, right? No, you misunderstood. Hearing this, although everyone did not understand, they waved their hands repeatedly. At this time, Kang didn't know whether he should tell Frankie the truth. The reason why Luffy wanted him on the ship was entirely because he was a funny reformer, and it didn't even matter whether he was a shipwright or not. I refuse. Before Frankie could say his refusal, Kang waved his hand. Usopp. Let Nami go. Nami's fists clenched loudly. Abnormal. Let me tell you, the materials in Kokoyasi's oranges are worth 300 million. Luffy covered his little heart and hesitated. Chopper, this is my new robot partner, you must cure it. Zoro Sigma, degree hollow up pointing triangle degree underscore, new partner. Still a familiar formula, I didn't agree at all. Chopper. I still don't know how to cure the robot's disease. Zoro stopped the Cub sisters who wanted to sneak attack with his sword, just watch carefully, I don't want to kill a woman. What kind of green algae are you doing? Sanji kicked and turned around holding a tray full of idiots. 2 beautiful ladies, please taste the barbecue with love. Everyone was eating late-night snacks and barbecue set meals. The Keel theory cannot be upgraded. Frankie's words were like a basin of cold water. But, Frankie's twist made everyone get up again. I discovered a very interesting guy recently. Do you know the Valpo alloy that is in the limelight recently? Valpo. Everyone was shocked. Oh, do you know that guy? That's easy to say, that devil fruit is really interesting. After learning about Valpo's fruit ability, Frankie coveted it very much. At this time, after the shock, Luffy asked, hey. Why is this name so familiar? Are you an idiot? Several guys who knew Valpo glared at him. Chopper pointed at himself. Valpo. Luffy, have you forgotten? Big mouth. Eats everything. Hippopotamus. Kang said the key words. Luffy suddenly realized. It's that guy. Didn't I knock him away? Yes, that was the story after being beaten away by Luffy. After that guy Valpo was beaten away by Luffy, he lived a wandering life. He was once a bully, but now he has become an honest man who dare not fight back when being bullied by little girls and dogs. He has even been reduced to selling matches and living under a bridge, which is a disgrace to those with abilities. However, the turning point of fate came quietly under that bridge. Valpo used his ability to swallow fruits to transform waste into metal toys, opening a new chapter in his life. Inadvertently, he synthesized an extraordinary metal called Valpo alloy. Its hardness is comparable to sea stone, and it has the characteristics of memory metal and can repair itself. Once this metal came out, it immediately attracted the attention of many people and became a hot commodity. Valpo's net worth soared, and he jumped from a down-and-out tramp to a plutocrat. In the end, he not only married Miss Universe, but also regained the throne, achieving a gorgeous turn from abjection to glory, which can be called a legendary turnaround history. Chapter 241 Mei Li Shipling, The Way to Strengthen. Everyone gathered around the bonfire and continued to talk about Mei Li. You mean to cover the keel with steel? Kang expressed his understanding and tilted his head to think about the possibility of this method. Frankie wagged his finger with a mysterious look on his face. No. The keel of your ship still cannot bear this method, so be more aggressive. Where did the alloy come from? Radical. Could it be? Kang suddenly thought of a possibility. Tuntun Factory. Do you want that guy to use the ability of swallowing fruit to resynthesize the Meryl Dragon Bone? Usopp had also seen the power of that fruit. After hearing this, he immediately became frightened and worried, as that dragon bone still marries dragon bone. This sounds unreliable. The wood has turned into metal, how can it still be the same thing as before? Sanji also has experience and expressed his understanding. At this time, he who was making barbecue suddenly smelled a pungent smell and said angrily, hey. Fishing fellow, your wood fish is almost burning. You can bake this thing yourself. Take it away. Sanji was speechless. It was unheard of to eat wood. It was not considered food at all, not even seasoning. Kang took the wooden fish and took a look at the burnt black thing. He was sure it was fish, so the theory was edible. At worst, you can eat it yourself. So Kang put it on the bonfire. As the smoke from the wooden fish dispersed, everyone was enveloped in the mist without realizing it. At this time, Frankie coughed again, attracting everyone's attention, because he was about to start showing off. Theoretically speaking, the newly synthesized keel is definitely not Meili's keel. As soon as these words came out, everyone's faces turned dark. Then why don't you say hell? But, Frankie changed the topic. Everyone shark tooth. Can you speak without gasping? If there is a ship spirit living in the keel, and the keel is intact, I think the ship made with the regenerated keel will still be the same Meili. Exclamation mark question mark question mark question mark. Because it's just the keel that's mixed with other unconscious things. The soul or main consciousness of the ship or the keel is still Meili, and it's not mixed. Frankie's words were very abstract and metaphysical, and most people were confused when they heard them, such as Luffy, Chopper, Zoro and Shang Naniao. And our 5 good young people in the 21st century. Kang is thoughtful. Frankie's explanation rises to the level of soul and consciousness. If Meili is a group of consciousness living on the dragon's bones, then after the keel is fused, Meili's consciousness merges with the unconscious keel material. Its consciousness may become larger and stronger, but it is still Meili's consciousness. Of course, the premise of everything must be that the consciousness of Meili shipling still exists, that is, the keel is not damaged. Bada. Frankie took out a book from somewhere with a dark and strange cover. He said mysteriously. This is a book about the study of souls and ship spirits. The author is a marine officer who came back alive from the Devil's Triangle and later went to Cake Island to work as a cook. This is a very authoritative book. I escaped from the Devil's Triangle and became Auntie's guest. Kang. Damn, is this author really reliable? Nami took the book. If Robin was not around, she would have to verify the authenticity of the book. She casually browsed through the catalog and was confused. Isn't this book just a horror story and a love story on Cake Island? Why is it the authoritative book on ship elves and souls? And no matter how it looks like a book by a third-rate author, if I were to give it a rating, she would give it a maximum of 6.8 points. There's no way to prove this kind of thing, right? Zoro said as he was sleeping. Damn it, he still didn't believe it but was yearning for it. Okay. At this moment, an ethereal voice came from the Meili on the side. Exclamation mark exclamation mark. What sound? Everyone looked in the direction of the sound and saw a little girl wearing a raincoat and holding a hammer on Meili's deck looming beside the boat. This is Sanji and Nami, who were the first to see it, both expressed surprise at the same time. This is Meili. Why did Meili show up? Kang and Usopp, who turned around, recognized the ship elf at the same time. As this are Mary, Luffy stopped chewing and held down the straw hat that almost fell off in shock. At the same time, Zoro lost his sleepiness and his eyes widened. Are there really ghosts? Then there is really a curse on Ki Tetsuya of the 3rd generation. Then there is Wado Ikimonji. Shang Naniao's eyes widened. Chirp. Oh, brother, it's such a pity that you are not here. Only Chakan and Usopp saw the Sky Island. At this time, except for Robin and Dark Crow, everyone was basically there. Even Frankie and Cube Head, who had no feelings for Mary, saw it. Is this the legendary ship spirit? It's really super. Frankie didn't even know what language to use. Open black lens bracket rubber. Rocket. Close black lens bracket. Whoosh whoosh whoosh. Everyone boarded Meili in their own way, but after boarding, they could not see anything at all, it was completely empty. Meili. Wasn't Meili here just now? Luffy was full of doubts. No. Nami turned into thunder and appeared below Meili. Sure enough, Meili appeared looming again. I know. It's this fog. This may be a principle similar to mirage or projection. Nami seemed to want to explain it in a scientific way. Is this the piece of wood that the fisherman roasted on? Sanji looked at the piece of wood or fish that looked like a rhinoceros horn. It seemed that it was the thing that produced the smoke that never dispersed, making Meili's ship spirit materialize. Kang was also shocked. Isn't this a fish? Kang, Usopp, and everyone else, Mary has left you worried. After saying that, the little loli bowed first. Meili also wants to take you further and take adventures with you all. With Meili's words, everyone could feel the desire in her heart. This caused Luffy to hold down the straw hat. Our captain was responsible for the crew. For a moment, he wanted to replace Meili. After all, the words of Bingshan still stuck in his throat. Seeing Meili like this now, Luffy felt ashamed and distressed. Meili. Everyone stopped talking. Everyone, listen to me. Mary's ship spirit looked at Kang, the tearful Usopp, Captain Luffy and everyone else, and the ethereal voice continued. If Meili can't upgrade, she won't be able to sail further with you, so please help me. Help me upgrade and transform. Then Meili looked in Frankie's direction and said sincerely, please. Frankie grinned and put on a perverted pose, for you. I'll make an exception once. Super. Usopp was like an old father. Mary. Don't look, and don't learn. Faced with such a strange and suspicious guy, Frankie would not have helped anyway, but after meeting the ship elves, he was certain of their love for ships. For a guy like Frankie who once denied his own ship, helping Meili is also a kind of self-salvation. However, in response to Meili's request, Kang still frowned and asked the question, then this method really has no impact on you. After all, the dragon bones are. Meili's little head nodded, and an ethereal voice reached everyone's ears. Don't worry, everyone. That method is possible. Meili's keel is not damaged, which means I am not dead, but just integrated into a new body. As the smoke from the wooden fish stopped, Meili's voice began to break. As long as you think it is Meili, then it is Meili, because my consciousness was born because of you, and it will also die because of you. By the end, Meili's voice almost disappeared. Please, please. Chapter 242. Making up for regrets, Robin's farewell. As the smoke drifted away in the wind, Meili's ethereal voice suddenly disappeared, as if it had never existed. While everyone looked at the smiling sheep head, they were still digesting Meili's philosophical words. They thought it was, that's why. Chopper held Kang's trouser legs tightly with his little hands, his eyes twinkling with stars. So, Meili can still take us on adventures, is that right? Facing such a cute Chopper, Kang nodded and affirmed. That's right. Chopper. Wow, that's great. Chopper jumped up happily and started dancing. Hearing Mary's good news seemed to make him more happy than praising him. Kang smiled slightly. Since Meili said so, there is nothing to hesitate about, just do it and be done. Kang secretly took a look at Usopp, a real man who never sheds tears, and found a solution. Usopp and Luffy would not turn against each other. Usopp loves Mary so much, and the deeper he falls in love, the less able he is to stay sane when he loses her. This was the case with Usopp in the original work. If he had Uchiha's bloodline, he might have opened Mangekyo directly that night. Now, how perfect everything is. Kang giggled and threw out the fishing rod. This wooden fish is really a good thing. The more the merrier. And our captain, Luffy, clapped his hands and ordered Frankie, okay. Go, Frankie, upgrade Mary. This order was given, so natural. Frankie may not have reacted yet, but he probably means, where are the materials? I'll use my head to upgrade it. Enough money. It was Nami who spoke. As a rich woman, she also decided to invest. In this way, Frankie took 500 million Baileys to participate in the auction tomorrow morning. He wanted to buy a legendary material treasure tree atom. As for the other materials and the money for Valbo, Kang said he could rest assured that the time had not yet come and there would be plenty of money later. If Kang takes out his thick and yellow thing, Nami and even the entire Water City will go crazy for it. After Frankie left, everyone prepared to drive Meili to Frankie's shipbreaking yard, because Frankie said that the water gods were coming. Water gods, also known as Akura Ragna, refers to a huge tsunami that occurs periodically. It occurs once a year. At that time, the tsunami will almost completely submerge the Water City. It is a very terrifying of natural disasters. Robin is gone. I really want her to know the good news about Mary. Chopper sat on the deck with a cute look on his face. Usopp. I think it's more important to tell her that the god of water is coming soon. He is a fruit user. But, where did Robin go? Everyone's eyes turned to Kang. Kang. Late at night, inside Carrera Company, there is an iceberg dormitory with a security level comparable to that of a vault. Suddenly, a beautiful woman with a hot figure and black stockings appeared silently in Bingshan's room. It was his personal secretary Khalifa. Boss, are you asleep? I tossed and turned at night and couldn't sleep. Is there going to be a story that the boss and secretary have to tell? Facing this familiar and slightly sultry voice, the sleeping Bingshan, Robin who had just entered through the wall, and Bruno who had closed the door were all confused. Click, the small lamp beside Bingshan's bedside suddenly turned on, and what caught his eyes was a masked man, a Khalifa, and... Is this Nicole Robin? Bold. Who are you? How dare you assassinate Mr. Bingshan? Khalifa instantly approached Bingshan and blocked the confused guy behind him. Facing Khalifa's head start, the Beerhead and Robin on the opposite side were unable to deal with it. Click. Bingshan took out his pistol and pointed it at the back of Khalifa's head. You are not Khalifa. Who are you? This Khalifa is of course Archie Kang's shadow clone. He has been hiding at the entrance of Carrera Company since the sun went down. Only when he found Robin and a masked man did he sneak in quietly. It's just, what Kang doesn't want to admit is that his transformation skills are so bad. The hip circumference is 0.7 centimeters shorter, the back is not as wide, and the shape of the earlobes is even wrong. Khalifa has been with me for 5 years, and I know every detail of his body. Question mark question mark question mark. Brother, does CP9 have to use that method when doing tasks? At this time, Nico, Robin and Bruno on the opposite side realized that this was the case. Bruno didn't expect that he was not as careful as Bingshan. But, how can you tell the difference? So who are you? Kang did not answer but, with a whoosh, he pressed the kunai against Bingshan's neck with his backhand. Who gave you the courage to point a gun at me? Looking at the kunai on the iceberg's neck, Bruno became anxious. Brother, I'm here to scare you, what do you mean? CP9's mission is to assassinate Bingshan and then frame the blame on the Straw Hats, but it is by no means to kill Bingshan. They had been lurking for 5 years just for this moment. How could Bruno not be nervous? Stop. Well, I mean don't kill him. It's still useful. Bruno looked at Robin, and Robin took out the Murkrow from his arms. Dumb. Dark Crow didn't seem nervous at all, and even blinked at Kang. Merc Crow means it's okay, it's undercover 00 Crow. But, do you look like you're okay with your tied-up look? Dark Crow, it turns out you're having such a miserable life. I thought you and Robin were enjoying the spicy food, but being an undercover agent is miserable enough for you. Kang knocked Bingshan unconscious with one punch and raised his hands. Nicole Robin, do you remember what I said to you at the Rain Feast Cafe? Kang looked at Robin. At this time, the light in the royal sister's eyes disappeared, which made him feel distressed. Robin, it has only been half a day, but you are so happy, have you become like this? Facing Kang's question, Robin chose to remain silent and closed his eyes. Bird shit coffee, I will never come back to you again. Let's say goodbye in this city. Robin took a deep breath, and a decisive voice came again. Although we got along for a short time, after today, we will never meet again. After Nicole Robin finished speaking, she made a start gesture indifferently. Thank you all. As Robin said goodbye, Kang sprouted flowery arms, seemingly not giving Kang a chance to speak. Kang was tied up by Wu Wada. This kind of control ability that he could not do anything he could do. I've been very happy lately. Robin said. Click, click. Shadow Clone's body began to twist, this woman was so merciless. Where is our bond? Nico Robin. Drink less. Coffee. These words made Nicole Robin's face darken. Click, click. It was confirmed that Dark Crow was fine, but Robin still had doubts. Heart disease requires heart medicine. Let Luffy get away with the rest, since the person Straw Hat likes can't run away anyway. Boom. In Bruno's horrified eyes, Kang's body turned into a fart and disappeared. After Kang left, Nicole Robin raised her gun and shot Bingshan several times in the chest. The mayor of the Seven Waters City, the boss of Carrera Company, and the hero of this city were assassinated. It happened to be the day when the water gods came again. Overnight, the entire Seven Waters City fell into panic and confusion. Chapter 243 Demonic Buggy, Iceberg wakes up. The next day. The voice of a newspaper seller rang out on the street in the early morning. Extra number, extra number. Mr. Bingshan was assassinated at home. He was shot 5 times and is still unconscious. The assassin's clutches have reached out to the heroes of the Seven Waters City. Inexcusable murderers, are their goals for money or power? Who is the murderer who disappeared without a trace? Central Street, back alley. In the back alley of Central Street in the capital of Seven Waters, Buggy the Clown is clutching an old treasure map. Where the hell is that damn Straw Hat boy hiding? Buggy said through gritted teeth, his voice full of hatred. This time, I will take away all your treasures. Then, he, ha 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 ha. As he talked, Buggy the Clown laughed so hard that his body split apart. Buggy has already imagined the future. Once he gets the treasure, he will buy a brand new ship and lead his pirate group to the mysterious sea marked on the treasure map. Just when Buggy was indulging in his imagination, an uninvited guest broke into his thoughts. Kulokas, the serious and unsmiling old man with chrysanthemums. Fire country. Forget it, never mind. Yes, this treasure map is the one that Kurokas used to trick Buggy into asking him to find out about the Land of Fire. The reason why the Clown Buggy pirates arrived at the capital of Seven Waters was because of this treasure map. Treasure map location of Kurokas, fish is too expensive. Buggy put away the treasure map, and then Mochi ran over in a hurry, holding a newspaper in his hand. Captain Buggy, something big happened. Did Alrita spend all our money? This is all my hard-earned money. Facing the anxious Mochi, Buggy looked panicked. Captain Buggy, it's not about money, it's... After listening to Mochi's words, Buggy just breathed a sigh of relief when he realized that it was not about money. However, when Buggy heard the news of Bingshan's assassination, his first reaction was, it's over. Arita just faced off against Carrera's craftsman yesterday, and today their boss was assassinated. This won't be traced to himself, right? Buggy thought. Captain, how about we escape? Mochi said. Why panic? Buggy the Clown spread out the newspaper in his hand and rubbed his chin. After a moment, he ordered Mochi. Go and get Arita. Isn't Carrera looking for a doctor? Let's go treat that guy. The atmosphere in Bingshan Mansion was tense and solemn. The bullet is too close to the heart. A slight mistake can cause massive bleeding or even directly cause a heart rupture. The doctors were surrounding the injured iceberg and discussing his injuries worriedly. At this moment, Khalifa led 2 barefoot doctors into the room, Buggy and Arita. Why can these 2 barefoot doctors come in? Arita only made a slight move and showed how to slide away Khalifa's crow's feet, which made Khalifa, a woman, fall into a sea of jealousy. After entering the house, Arita put her hands on her hips and said with an arrogant face, you are a bunch of trash, just watch from the side. The doctors glared at Arita. Arita didn't care. She pressed her fingers on Bingshan's chest, and a strange wave appeared. Open black lens bracket slippery channel close black lens bracket. As Arita moved her fingers quickly, what was incredible was that the bullet holes in the iceberg began to move with her fingers. When the bullet hole moved to one side of the iceberg's body, there was only a clang sound, and a ball of carrion fell, with a lead bullet mixed in it. And Bingshan's skin seems to be a little firmer. Amazing skills. Incredible skills. This is the power of the devil. A female doctor exclaimed, completely shocked by the scene in front of her. The strange directions in which Alrita's fruit develops. She can slide away scars, wounds, fat, leg hair, and even any unwanted lines. No doctor can develop a way to use this fruit, because the doctor's understanding of human tissue is completely different from that of Arita. Please ask this doctor to explain the principle of this ability. Sorry, I can't explain it, but the wound did slip away after passing through various tissues of the body. This is the fact and cannot be explained. This is the devil fruit, which completely relies on the cognition of the ability user. The most troublesome wound has been resolved, can you trust us now? Buggy the clown said confidently. Thank you so much, thank you. Khalifa wiped her red eyes. Buggy rubbed his hands and raised his eyebrows at Khalifa. Don't forget our conditions. Don't worry, this is a contract. After saying that, Khalifa took out a contract. After the water gods pass, the craftsmen of Carrera Company will build a ship according to your requirements. Khalifa was still working conscientiously on her last day as an undercover agent, showing her true feelings. Who would believe that such a person is an undercover agent? Buggy the clown took over the contract and his eyes lit up. This was a big company and they wouldn't lie to him like a little pirate. While Buggy the clown and Khalifa were chatting, the other side of the iceberg had slowly woken up. Bingshan was lying on the bed, his head wrapped in a bandage, surrounded by shipwrights from Dockyard Number 1, who all looked at the beloved leader with concern. Bingshan gently raised a hand, pressed his aching forehead, and slowly recalled everything that happened last night. 3 people sneaked into my room last night. His words were a bit tired. If I remember correctly, one turned into a person who looked like Khalifa, the other was tall but wearing a mask, and the last one should be. Bingshan's eyes wandered around the room, finally stopping on a poster hanging on the wall. That was the reward for the little girl he had been paying attention to, Nicole Robin. Every day, this poster reminds him that there is a power in this world that can change the course of history, son of the devil. Nicole Robin. Bingshan's voice was low and sure. After listening to Bingshan's story, Lucci's pigeon began to make gestures. That's right. According to the world government's information, Nico Robin is now a crew member of the Straw Hats. The guy who became Khalifa should have the highest bounty, red demonic eyes. Bingshan nodded. Although he thought in his heart that these 3 people were most likely intruders, he always felt that something was wrong with the situation last night. Buggy the clown and Arita walked out of the iceberg mansion in high spirits. Behind them, a gust of wind rushed past. A voice suddenly sounded in the crowd. Special news. Special news. The man shouted. Mr. Iceberg revealed the names of the attackers. They are Nico Robin and Cool D. Zaken from the Straw Hat Pirates. As this man finished speaking, the citizens surrounding Bingshan Mansion became excited. The Straw Hats, right. Inform the whole city. Hunt down the murderer. Yes, we can't let them escape from the capital of 7 waters. Buggy the clown and Arita looked at each other. What the hell? He. I didn't expect it. God is really helping me. Let's go. Arita, Carrera can also be considered our friend. Let's settle the old and new scores with those guys. Chapter 244. So what if we are the enemy of the world? Golden Mary. The person keeping watch last night was Kang, so of course some night fishing by the angler was indispensable. At first, his harvest with bait was pretty good, including wooden fish with 0.9 inches strong promise, ironhead prawn with 1.2 inches strong promise, and even a giant blue with 7 inches strong promise. As for the second half of the night, without the special bait, Kang's profit rate immediately plummeted. Forget about mountains of stones, water plants, and broken wooden boards. Kang smoked all night and couldn't figure out the meaning of this silver knife fish that jumped onto Mei Li. Throw. What went wrong? It was dawn, and everyone in the straw hats got up refreshed. Kang, did something happen yesterday? Nami yawned and asked. Kang casually Kaido. It's nothing serious, Mr. Bingshan was assassinated last night. Oh, it's okay. Nami turned around and exclaimed. What did you say? Iceberg was assassinated. Nami's voice called out everyone else. The iceberg you mentioned was the one from yesterday, right? Nami urgently needed Kang's answer. Yes, but he didn't die. He was seriously injured and fell into a coma. Kang threw the newspaper under his butt. With the newspaper, everyone immediately gathered around to read it. It's that nice uncle, Luffy's good guy, is indeed right. This guy is so good. Iceberg and Frankie are both Tom's apprentices. The city was on the verge of bankruptcy 20 years ago. Bingshan and Tom studied together and first developed a sea train to revitalize the economy of the water city. Then the master disappeared, and our good man Bingshan stepped forward and integrated the entire shipbuilding industry in the water city, which was extremely chaotic. This is why the city is now prosperous. It is not an exaggeration to say that it has dedicated everything to the city of water. Such a selfless pillar has now been assassinated. Sanji took a deep breath of cigarette. If it were him, this city might be in chaos. But who did this? Faced with Sanji's doubts, Kang raised his hand. I know who it is. Exclamation mark exclamation mark exclamation mark. Say it. Nicole Robin and Cool D. Zekken, plus a bearman. Question mark question mark question mark. Nani. Quote. That's it. She said she was very happy recently, but she asked us to forget about her. Kang told everything about what he saw and heard last night. After listening, everyone's doubts were written on their faces. How could I forget this love? This is impossible. Why would Robin do this? That guy wants to leave the pirate group, has Luffy agreed. Woo, why? Why did Robin separate from us? Is Robin suffering from a terminal illness? So. Chirp, peas. I asked you to guess, but no one said anything. Everyone said something to you or me, some didn't believe it, some were reluctant to give up, and some were silent and at a loss. Luffy, what do we say? Zoro rarely asked the silent Luffy. Luffy pressed his hat to hide his gloomy face. I'll go find her and ask her. At this time, Kang grabbed Luffy who had a hot head, and everyone outside was shouting and beating him. Wait a minute, actually, I haven't finished speaking yet. Everyone's eyes fell on Kang. Couldn't they finish the words in one breath? If the atmosphere wasn't wrong, I really wanted to beat him up. Robin should have been threatened. For the sake of her partners, Robin chose to sacrifice herself. Exclamation mark, exclamation mark. This news shocked everyone, but Kang's following words were the most shocking. The guy who threatened him seems to call himself CP9, someone from the world government. Exclamation mark, exclamation mark, exclamation mark. Everyone believed in Kang's intelligence capabilities. World government. Nami covered her mouth. Nami suddenly had a picture in his mind, a woman who had been hiding in the dark underground world for 20 years. The world government threatened her with her partners, and then she was willing to become a pawn at the mercy of others for the sake of a group of partners she had not known for a long time. Hey, you're lying, right, Kang. It was Nami's best friend who spoke. What is world government? Chopper didn't understand why Nami and Usopp were so surprised. Usopp shook his legs and began to explain to Chopper. What is world government? That is the political power that rules the entire One Piece world. If they were threatening Robin, are they going to be enemies of the world government? Sanji threw away the cigarette from his mouth and expressed his stance first. For Miss Robin, so what if I become the enemy of the world? Kang shook his head. The worst case scenario is to become the enemy of the world. There is still a chance now. Who allowed her to do this? Everyone must do this. My knife suddenly wants to cut something. Zoro wiped the knife to himself, as if he was possessed, and his words revealed endless murderous intent. Captain, do it or not. Then, everyone looked at Luffy. Luffy took off his hat, revealing a resolute face, and said in a sonorous voice. Robin is our partner. No one can force her to do anything. No matter who they are. Find her. Bring her back. Even if she is tied up, she must be tied up. Hearing Luffy's firm declaration, everyone laughed from the bottom of their hearts. He is indeed our captain. Then, recharge your batteries. It seems that there is a tough battle to be fought tonight. It was Kang who spoke. Night. Now that the streets are full of civilians and boatmen, it's best to go out at night. You can completely clear the suspicion and bring Robin home at the same time. Kang didn't believe it anymore. How dare they throw Buster Call into the capital of Seven Waters, a city that is famous far and near. Urgent report. Urgent report. The giant tsunami, Akira Ragna, is about to hit tonight. Citizens are requested to seek refuge in the shelters at the shipyard. I repeat. The radio sound resounded throughout the Water City, and at this time, there was an idle warehouse in the back street of the Water City. In this dark warehouse, Bruno stood guard and monitored. Robin was dressed in a black leather jacket, petting the bird while flipping through the newspaper in his hand. The headline of the newspaper was, Shocked. The murderers who assassinated Mr. Binkshan turned out to be them. The headlines feature the wanted posters of the Straw Hats. At the same time, sitting in the shadows across from Nicole Robin was a guy, CP9's Rob Lucci. Now, the entire city is suppressing its anger against the Straw Hats. Boat workers and citizens have organized spontaneous searches for the murderer, but the instigator of the incident is plotting something here. The Straw Hats, red demonic eyes, can transform into Khalifa. I can't recognize the color of my sight. This is a troublesome ability. Bruno said. Is it the woman Khalifa? Lucci frowned and asked, how can Binkshan tell the difference? After hearing this, Bruno fell silent. Seeing Bruno's silence, Lucci did not continue to ask, but looked at Robin opposite. Chapter 245 All Parties Act, Killing Chickens in the Night. Secure Asset Portal, your trusted source for secure and informative digital assets. Register with your real phone number and get bonus just for registering. Try for free. In Lucci's view, the Straw Hats are just a group of self-righteous pirates. Who is Lucci? This guy's experience has to be mentioned. He has received rigorous training in the government since he was a child. When he was 13 years old, a country affiliated with the world government was invaded by pirates. 500 soldiers of the kingdom were defeated and captured by the pirates. The world government sent 13-year-old Lucci to solve the problem. Lucci sneaked into the warehouse where pirates kept soldiers and killed all 500 soldiers by one person. When the pirates rushed to the warehouse after hearing the news, there was only a boy standing on top of the mountain-high pile of corpses. The angry pirates dared to fire at Lucci. Lucci was shot 5 times in the back. After being shot, he walked out of the smoke and immediately ran towards the stunned pirates until he killed the last one. Just like that, all the people who caused the problem died. While others were playing the pirate game, the 13-year-old Lucci was already alone, ruthlessly solving the crisis, and therefore joined CP9. Known as CP9, it is the strongest and most ruthless killing weapon in history and the strongest person in 800 years. These titles all demonstrate Lucci's strength and Yamato's ruthlessness. You did a good job last night, Nico Robin. Lucci's voice sounded in the dark warehouse. Oh, Robin's answer seemed quite bland. The most important thing is tonight. We will enter Mr. Iceberg's room again. The man in the shadow continued. It doesn't matter even if all the evidence is destroyed. No matter how he pretends to be stupid, in the name of CP9 tonight, we must get that thing. Seemingly sensing the hesitation in Robin's heart, the man opposite raised his head, with a biting chill in his eyes. Remember, this is a just mission. Everything is for justice. Justice. Robin was quite disgusted by this, but she did not dare to refute it. In this way, CP9 and Robin began to finalize plans for tonight. Frankie Shipbreaking Yard, Chowdong Warehouse. It's over, it's over. We are really wanted by the whole city. Nami looked at the newspaper and cried, and everything Kang said came true. Why, after getting on this ship, there have been so many twists and turns. I'm just an ordinary navigator. Woohoo. Usopp on the side. Can you be a human being? This should be my line. Chopper on the side. Nami, do you need psychological treatment? While Nami was being negative, Sanji's voice came from the door. They even want to check the mask. We can't buy any food. It seems we can only bring grilled fish to Miss Robin tonight. The whole city was being hunted, and Sanji, who wanted to try his luck, also came back dejected. How can this be done? I want to eat meat. Wait, how about roasting the bird? It was the captain who was tied up who spoke. Why he was tied up was a unanimous decision among the crew. After listening to the devil's words, Shang Naniao suddenly sweated on his forehead and shrank into Zoro's arms, while the fleshy little chopper trembled 3 times. Straw Hat Boy, what the hell is going on? At this moment, an angry voice came from the door. Needless to say, the owner of this voice is Frankie, who returned from the auction. Cyborgs Frankie and Bingshan are brothers. For some reasons, although they can't recognize each other, it doesn't mean they don't care about each other. Give me an explanation quickly. Frankie lowered his sunglasses and stared directly at the Straw Hats. Although they didn't get along for a long time, Frankie didn't believe that these guys would do such a thing. Who can explain? Kang pointed at the pervert. Luffy squirmed and made a worm-bowing gesture. I'm sorry, we did it. Question mark, question mark, question mark. If you can't speak, no one will think you are dumb. Everyone explained the cause and effect together, and Nami explained, Luffy, by the way. Ooh, it's so touching. There are people who are willing to be guillotined for the sake of bonding with their partners. And her companions, in order to save their threatened companions, are willing to become enemies of the world. This is so super, Frankie said, doing the classic star pose. Super. Chopper interjected. Usopp pulled his younger brother over and said, hey, don't be a pervert, Chopper. In that case, as a pervert, I will go with you tonight. I also have a reason to go, Frankie said. Luffy. Okay, let's go together then. Now, everyone wants to rescue their companions, even Usopp and Nami, who are usually the most fearful. But what about the Mary? Usopp asked worriedly. So, everyone looked at Kang, who was fishing. Kang knew what everyone meant and poured cold water on him. I don't plan to use Shadow Clone. The clone weakens the main body too much. I must maintain my full strength. Don't underestimate CP9. All members of CP9 are in Grandmaster 6 styles. If you are not careful, people will really die. Kang first gave everyone a vaccination. Now that Kang is gone, Meili must stay alone. Just when everyone was worried, Frankie spoke. Don't worry, it's safe here. Just put the boat here. Our Frankie family are not vegetarians. Great, times N. By the way, eldest sister, I will share the remaining money with them. Frankie suddenly broke out in sweat, mainly him, they were injured, quite seriously. Late at night, dock number 1. This place has been completely surrounded by us. If someone still breaks into it like this, it would be a shame for Carrera Company. Idiot, don't be careless. How is the back door? If you want to enter the Iceberg Mansion, you need to enter Carrera Company first, and if you want to enter Carrera Company, you must pass through dock number 1. And our Straw Hat crew is sitting on a towering tree near dock number 1, waiting for the night to kill the chicken. Everyone has a weapon. They look so awesome. At this time, Usopp and Chopper acted as observers, passing on information from the front. Frankie. There's nothing strange about this. The boatmen here don't take pirates seriously. It's just that super. Zoro wearing the southward bird. I'll take a nap, call me when you start taking action. Luffy, who has no self-awareness. If you break in like this, you will be in trouble. Nami, who was sitting next to Luffy and was wary of Luffy, you can tell yourself this. Smoking Sanji. How can you sneak into this lineup? Kang looked at everyone, tilted his head and thought for a moment, and said a famous saying. Kill everyone, otherwise no one will know that we have infiltrated. Everyone sigma, degree hollow up pointing triangle degree underscore. What he said makes sense. A-hole. Do you have any humanity? Beat him. Just when everyone is taking action. Boom. A violent explosion occurred in Carrera Company. Wow. It exploded. This explosion is their signal, there should be chaos. Kang reminded. It's time for us to move, Luffy. Everyone was still waiting for the order. Frankie on the side pointed out. There was something that just passed by. I think it should be your captain. Question mark, question mark, question mark. Chapter 246 Sneaking into Carrera. The tranquility of Carrera Company was torn apart by the sudden explosion, like a drop of water splashed into oil, which instantly made everyone boil. The moment the explosion sounded, the assassin also appeared. Attention all units, the intruder is wearing a mask. Why are you still standing there? Catch him quickly. But he went upstairs with a whip. Everyone should be vigilant and never let him get close to Mr. Bingshan. The entire Bingshan mansion was in chaos. The boatmen were chasing and intercepting a masked assassin in gorgeous clothes and holding a thorn whip. This was Khalifa in disguise. Let's go. Taking advantage of the chaos, Bruno, wearing a bear hood, and Nico Robin, a masked eye patch, swaggered down into the courtyard. You have nowhere to escape. You actually walked in like this, looking for death. Facing the criticism from everyone around him, Bruno suddenly pulled his cloak. What is he going to do? Shoot. The boatmen in the Seven Waters City deal with pirates every day, and the guys here are all ruthless and talkative characters. Since the other party refuses to surrender and be captured, then go to hell. Bang 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 bang. A series of gunshots pierced the night sky, but when the sieve cloak slowly fell to the ground, the scene everyone expected did not appear. What happened? These two guys disappeared. Magic. Magic. Buggy, the righteous citizen clown hidden in the crowd. Vice Captain, what do you think? Although Robin was wearing a cutout mask, Buggy the clown recognized her, having met them during the Alabasta incident. Faced with Buggy's question, the righteous citizen Arita responded. I see your uncle. Why is Alita so violent? Because Lakey said that its old enemy, Dark Crow, is in Nico Robin. Back to the Straw Hats. Didn't Nami tell you to watch the idiot captain? Faced with Chi Kang's accusation, Nami turned into Shark Pepper. I was shocked too. Who would keep staring at that idiot? All right. Seeing this, Chi Kong didn't dare to say anything anymore. I'm going to support Luffy. Chi Kong said, and disappeared in the darkness with a whoosh. Near dock number 1, the Straw Hats were running wildly in the alley, rushing towards the dock. Zoro's voice rang in everyone's ears. According to Luffy's style, he will definitely go straight to the front door, which means that the enemy's attention should be attracted by now. We take the opportunity to go in the opposite direction and go around to the back door, so that we can sneak into Kaylee silently pull the company. That's right. In this case, the back door is the weakest. Usopp immediately agreed. So, everyone prepared to circle around and head to the back door. However, reality is often more complicated than planned. At the back door, Nami, Sanji and Frankie were lost in thought facing the sea of people in front of them. Sanji took a puff of the cigarette in his hand and said, it seems that the situation here is not optimistic. Nami raised his hand and asked weakly, where have Zoro and the others gone? Frankie, who was leading the way, looked confused, weren't you still here just now? So where did our soda go? Dock number 1, side door. Some people veer off the road while walking, even the guys behind them veer off. Tweet, wrong, fool, wrong direction, Chopper at this time. Yeah, why is there only one Zoro in front? Wait, Zoro, Chopper shouted quickly. Question mark. Zoro was still confused, suddenly broke out in a cold sweat, and made a stop gesture, causing Usopp and Chopper to break suddenly. Kakaka. Gunshot sound. It's Swordsman of the Wind Roronoa Zoro and Master of Self-Destruction Usopp of the Straw Hat Pirates. These words made both Usopp and Chopper's eyes bulge. Chopper pointed to himself. Why doesn't anyone notice me? It shouldn't be. Zoro slowly pulled out the knife. I didn't expect there were so many people in the back door. Maybe this is the so-called plan that can't keep up with changes. Zoro doesn't seem to realize that this is not a back door, but there is a door at least. Usopp couldn't help but complain. You are going in the wrong direction. B****************************************************************************************************************************************************************************************************************************************************************************************************************************************************** abilities. Boom. Bang. Bew bew bew. All kinds of bullets are coming. Open black lens bracket for enhancement close black lens bracket. Open black lens bracket Itori style tornado close black lens bracket. Must kill Stinky Star. Do you want to take action? Usopp, who was hiding behind Chopper, shed tears of grievance. The only blame he had to blame was that he didn't dare to run ahead. Chubby Chopper. But the people on the other side are just ordinary people. After Zoro blocked all the bullets and shells, he spoke domineeringly. As long as it's not fatal. Rush over. We don't have time to waste. Luffy and Kong will probably arrive soon. In Zoro's opinion, a rocket or a flying wall can go in much faster than them. He doesn't want to be laughed at by them too late. You're not such a fool. Chopper and Usopp turned into shark teeth. Zoro holds both swords behind his back, and he is very skilled in striking with the back of the sword. Just as Zoro rushed forward. Clang. You are Roronoa Zoro, right? I am the foreman of Carrera number 1 dockyard. The speaker was none other than Bipli Lulu, a double-sword swordsman with a tendon-like hair and a fleshy body. Swordsman. Zoro's eyes changed instantly, full of fighting spirit. Usopp panicked. Hey, Zoro, what's going on with your eyes? What did you just say? Rush over. Dock number 1, on the tree at the door. Where did Luffy go? Frankie clearly meant this direction. Kong looked up and saw that there was a commotion, but it was not big at all. It stands to reason that if Luffy had rushed in from here, he would have been in chaos. Forget it. Let's go in and take a look. Kong casually attacked a bearded passerby and transformed into his 8th form. In this way, Kong easily blended into the crowd, passed the number 1 dock unimpeded, and stepped into the main entrance of Carrera Company. For a ninja, hiding and sneaking are too easy. At this time. Roar. A loud lion roar came. Question mark question mark question mark. This sound. It's impossible. Near dock number 1, there is a gap between a two-story building. Puff, puff, help me, help me. Is there anyone? Is anyone here? Damn it, I wanted to rush over in one go. Oh, why is it stuck? If this isn't our Captain Funny, who else could it be? Kang never dreamed that what the old thief Oda said was true, and that the mighty pirate Wong Luffy was actually stuck by the wall. Chapter 247 Each Other's Troubles. Secure Asset Portal. Your trusted source for secure and informative digital assets. Register with your real phone number and get bonus just for registering. Try for free. In the hustle and bustle of Dock No. 1, Buggy the Clown's wild laughter echoed through the sky. Ha ha, I knew those idiots would choose the front entrance to break in. At this time, all the minions pointed their guns at a bearded man and started talking about it. Zian, he is my coworker. How could he be Red Demon Eye? Idiot, didn't you say you had the ability to transform? Doubts and surprises spread among the crowd, and of course this bearded man was Kang transformed by the transformation technique. Now Kang is completely confused. Why are the clowns Buggy and Arita here? Why are these people so obedient? Cuckoo D Kang, how are you going to run this time? Flame Lion Knight Arita took the lead. As the distance got closer, she hit the niche, leapt up, and swung the huge mace directly towards Kang. Facing Arita, Kang took out the same mace from his crotch and transformed into Arbelo. You forced me. Transform back. Arita shouted sharply, and Kang's transformation technique was forced to cancel. Are you sure your conqueror's release is not for transformation? Kang felt his teeth itch with hatred. It's so annoying. Who in the family understands? When you meet a low-income girl, you won't be allowed to use the transformation technique. Clang. The two rods collided, making a crisp metallic sound, and an invisible air wave swayed away from their positions. Chakra Huge Power Mode versus Natural Power plus Armed Color, evenly matched. Wrong. Click. The original Arita stick in Kang's hand actually cracked. Then a numb feeling came from the palm of his hand, making Kang stunned. In terms of strength, among the women I have seen, I would like to call you the strongest. While Kang was frightened, he felt a little sorry for his stick. But why are you there every time? So haunting. Kang was going crazy. This plot direction was completely beyond his expectation. Throw. Half of the mace was thrown directly towards Li Ji. With a thud, Li Ji fainted to the ground with the big bag on his head. Despicable. Arita swung the stick, but Kang didn't dare to take it hard. Sharingan appeared at the moment of dodging. Arita immediately did not dare to look directly, and swung the stick with huge power with her backhand. At this time, the clown Buggy's voice came, for Mr. Iceberg. Shoot me all. But, everyone hesitated because Arita was still within attack range. Bang. Buggy the clown took the lead. Don't worry about Arita, bullet attacks are ineffective against her. Seeing this, everyone raised their guns. Bang bang bang. The gunshots were loud. Kang was like a dancing butterfly, dodging bullets while fighting, and at the same time, he did not forget to observe the Carrera Company's troop formations to look for a breakthrough. Damn it, you're attacking. Are you looking down on me by just avoiding me? Arita asked angrily. Kang was like a loach now, and she had no choice. Attack. I've never seen such a mean request. Facing Arita's anger, Kang's right hand was filled with chakra energy. He pulled her head, held it against her forehead and looked at each other affectionately. Arita's face turned red and she forgot to swing the mace in her hand. What does this guy want to do? How to do? When Arita's heart was racing, suddenly the three Magatama in front of her spun strangely, and she felt dizzy. Oops, I fell into a trap. Arita realized it, but it was too late. Kang easily disarmed her. Seeing that Arita was about to recover, a carpenter's hammer appeared in Kang's hand. You just said you wanted me to attack. There was a thud, and there was a bulging bump on the back of Arita's head. Her eyes rolled and she fainted. The people around were dumbfounded. It was originally a sweet idol drama, but how could it change its taste in an instant? Bah, straight man. Hit lousy. Hit him hard. Buggy God Tier waved his arm and everyone remembered to attack. Sorry, Fisherman doesn't need love. Kang spun and jumped, glanced at Buggy the Clown, but still did not dare to take action, and used a new S-class ninjutsu. Magic the art of Nirvana abode. The yin attribute chakra materializes into feathers and floats around Kang, as if it is snowing. The frequency of these feathers shaking will produce an effect similar to hypnosis, which is a large-scale genjutsu that consumes much less than the dark walk jutsu, and the effect also varies from person to person. Don't pester me, Red Nose. Or I'll ask the captain to beat you. As the feathers fell from the sky, Kang's voice reached the ears of every sleepy person. Kang stepped on moonwalk continuously and moved to higher places. Buggy's furious voice came from below. You tell me where the fire country is first. I can consider forgetting the past. Otherwise, just wait. Your treasures are all mine. What he said almost made Kang fall down. He stepped on the outer wall of the building and said, I will inform you after the founding of the People's Republic of China. Buggy gritted his teeth. You forced me. Brothers. Buggy raised his arms and shouted. Gun in hand, follow me, kill Luffy and save Baku. Iceberg is also known as Ace Bagu. This sound successfully made the sleepy people excited. Oh, time's N. Carrera's side door. PFF'd. A boatman fell unwillingly. At this time, Zoro was surrounded by various minions. I thought he was such a strong swordsman, boring. Zoro sheathed the sword. Zoro had completely ignored the strength of Lulu, the foreman with a strength of 40 million. Didn't we agree to use the back of the sword? Usopp and Chopper said. Shark tooth. Zoro casually Kaido. I wasted some time just now, so I have to hurry up. Don't worry, I've avoided the key points. Let's go. Zoro stepped forward. Chopper and Usopp looked at each other and suddenly blocked Zoro from left to right. Hey, what do you mean? Carrera back door. Bew, bang bang bang. These bastards. There is no end in sight. Amidst the hail of bullets, Sanji and Frankie used their own methods to dodge and run wildly. Asked, why didn't Nami hide? Does she need to hide from the dignified Thunder Fruit user? When are we going to run? Nami looked helpless. He had the urge to take the first step several times, but he held it back every time. Don't ask, she's just afraid of it. However, what's more terrifying than the unknown is the tiredness and a group of menacing guys ahead. I can't take it anymore, I'll leave this place to you. Nami finally couldn't stand the tide of enemies anymore, and turned into thunder and flew to the highest place. Miss Nami. Sanji was a little worried about Nami, so he asked, hey. Can you pervert yourself? Frankie disdains Kaido. Hey, curly eyebrow boy, what do you mean by this? As a pervert, I can leave long ago if I want. Then let's use our own methods. Sanji's right leg shook rapidly, as if he was planning something. Hey, everyone. Frankie suddenly showed a perverted smile, and his butt began to get bigger and bigger. Frankie, why are you here? The city of Seven Waters treats you well. Because I'm Super's pervert. Ha ha ha, come and catch me. Bang. With a sound, Sanji looked sideways and his eyes almost popped out of his head. Frankie actually shot towards the roof like a flying monkey. Sanji gritted his teeth. For Miss Nami. For Miss Robin. For Chi. Ah, I'm sure I can do it. This is the trial of love. Bang. Bang. What? How can this person borrow power in the air? Is this guy also a member of the Straw Hats? Sanji in the air was chuckling to himself that he actually used moonwalk. A two-story building near Dock 1. Ah, how miserable. Finally, it's finally out. Our pirate king Luffy is finally out. Tears. Who? As Luffy's arm kept pulling back, it was like a launching slingshot. I must fly there this time. Rubber rubber rocket. Chapter 248 Gathering. The sound of rapid breathing echoed in the room where Bingshan was located. Bang. Khalifa closed the heavy steel door forcefully, turned around and put on her glasses. As expected, the Straw Hats don't seem to have given up on you. Nico Robin. Khalifa's words made royal sister Robin silent for a while. It seems that the speed is faster. Lucci roughly understood the situation outside, and there were some deviations from the plan, but it was not a big problem. He calmly looked at the fallen iceberg and ordered. Kaku, check your pulse. The so-called pulse sensing is the CP organization's unique lie detection technique, judging whether the other party is lying by sensing subtle changes in the heartbeat. You are actually from the government. Seeing these acquaintances who had been together day and night tearing off their disguises, Mayor Bingshan was beyond shocked. Bingshan knew that the world government had always been coveting that thing, but he never thought that three of the people he relied on the most were undercover. Lucci took a step forward, looked through a stack of so-called drawings, and said in a cold voice. Mr. Bingshan, there is no point in deceiving us with this fake blueprint. Before more victims appear, hand over the design of the ancient weapon, Pluton. Bingshan roared. Get out. I don't know what you are talking about. HMPH. As the Kaku card lie detector came online, Lucci put his hands in his pockets and began to perform. At this time, Kang was hanging upside down on the roof. He had confirmed the location where Mr. Bingshan had been transferred, but if he wanted to enter that room, he had to go through the only iron door in the lobby. Just as Kang was about to break the window and enter the lobby, he suddenly felt a chill on his back, and then an anxious and funny voice came. Hey, get out of the way. We're about to hit you. We're really going to hit you. The only ones who can be behind Kang without attracting attention are his partners. And this voice, Luffy. The moment Kang turned around. Boom. Puff. D. Kang was knocked to pieces by the sudden impact, and his saliva swayed in an arc in the air. Damn it, why is Luffy behind me? Accompanied by the crisp sound of broken glass, Luffy and Kang successfully infiltrated. In the lobby, Luffy climbed up tremblingly. As a rubber man, nothing happened to him, but only his partner was injured. Kang, why are you here? Kang held his stomach and retched, wishing he could kick this idiot away. However, Luffy's arrival showed that his judgment was correct, and the rows of chairs at the gate and the guy lying on the ground explained everything well. At this moment, a bolt of lightning came quickly, accompanied by the crackling sound of electric shocks. I've had enough of you idiots. Thunder penetrated the broken window and reappeared as our navigator Nami. Bang, the fourth person to arrive was Frankie, the cyborg who used his face to break. Straw Hat Boy and Ninja, you are not slow either. Frankie Super said as he stood up again. It seems the time is just right. Sanji, who was carrying a lunch box, jumped in. He glanced left and right first and found that Zoro hadn't arrived yet. He immediately broke through the defense and gasped for breath. It seemed that moonwalk was too much of a drain on physical strength. Where's the green algae head? Is that guy lost again? Sanji asked. As soon as he finished speaking, there was a clanking sound from the stairs, and Usopp and Chopper arrived, one on the left and the other on the right, carrying a constipated-looking Zoro. Great, everyone is here. Chopper and Usopp burst into tears. Chirp, Straw Hats, all together. In the room at this time, Rob Lucci's performance continued. The legendary Tom Studio is a mysterious shipbuilding company, although there is no proof of residence on this island. We spent a long time investigating to find out that you are Tom's disciple, and according to our intelligence, Tom has 2 disciples. Lucci's voice came out unhurriedly, and every word was like a heavy hammer, hitting Bingshan's heart. In Lucci's perception, Bingshan was very nervous, and the look from Kaku also showed that his perception was correct. Lucci continued. Tom's other disciple, Cotty Frame, was rumored to have died 8 years ago, and the government has repeatedly confirmed this. It's nothing at first, but this name actually made an impression on me. 4 years ago, that person called you by this name and came to visit you. That's right. Kaku and Khalifa agreed at the same time. They also remembered such a thing. As the iceberg's pulse beat faster and faster, Lucci knew the truth he had obtained. Katie Fram is still alive, but he changed his name to Frankie. Right, Mr. Iceberg. Bingshan's mouth opened involuntarily. Is this the espionage capability of CP9? He couldn't believe it. A-hole. Bingshan always thought that he was hiding well, but he never thought that CP9 was by his side. Now, with Lucci peeling off the cocoon, everything has become meaningless. Run away, Frankie. Then, thank you for taking care of me all these years. This will all end tonight. Lucci casually glanced at the steel door that was about to fall apart and said, it seems that the guy who took the blame for us is here too. As the steel door was cut by Zoro, Luffy raised his leg and kicked. With a bang, the entire steel door fell to the ground. Ah, where is Robin? As Luffy rushed in, a series of figures appeared in the room. Luffy wearing a straw hat, Kong holding his stomach, Zoro holding a knife, Sanji smoking a cigarette, Nami wielding a golden weather stick, Chopper transforming into a half-orc form, Usopp shaking his legs with 2 guns. There is also a perverted reformer who stares at the iceberg, Frankie. It's been a day since I saw Merc Crow being treated so well now. Looking at Merc Crow being held in Robin's chest, Kong felt a little envious. Go, leave me alone. Bingshan's voice was filled with anxiety because he saw someone in the crowd who shouldn't be there. Ah, uncle, we are not here to find you, we are here to pick up Robin. Luffy looked cute and seemed a little embarrassed. Iceberg and Frankie. Luffy took a step forward, ignoring the gazes of the other CP9s, looking at Nico Robin behind them, and shouted, Robin. We are here to take you back. Seeing Luffy talking, Zoro had 3 swords in hand and added angrily, you can't get off the ship without the captain's permission. Even if you want to leave, you need a good reason to go. Miss Robin, I made you a grilled fish bento. Sanji's eyes were full of love. Robin, come back quickly, we all know it. Others also talked about it. Robin took a step forward, moved in his heart, and said viciously, don't you understand what I say? Didn't I make it clear to Kong? Why are you still coming? Ahem, you asked me to tell you, that's why we're here, because we all know, those are not the real reasons. Kang's eyes were so serious that the intellectual beauty opposite did not dare to look at him. Everyone is here now, as long as you tell us that you are not willing. That's enough. Robin's cold voice came. Chapter 249 6 Moves, Robbing People. Secure Asset Portal, your trusted source for secure and informative digital assets. Register with your real phone number and get bonus just for registering. Try for free. Enough. Robin denied it. I was not threatened. I am with them to fulfill my wish, which is absolutely impossible to fulfill with you. In order to achieve that goal, I will not hesitate to make any sacrifices. After hearing Robin's categorical sophistry, Kong turned around and said, why don't we just tie him up? Of course you have to grab it, but you have to finish your lines, right? So, Nami took a step forward and said with I see through. Look. Your wish is to protect us, right? Robin. Nami's whole body was flashing with thunder, and his fingers passed through several CP9 members in the room one by one. Kong has already said it. They are threatening you with the lives of your friends. Is that right? Question mark. Faced with Nami's question, Nicole Robin suddenly looked at Kong, you. Robin wanted to ask Kong what he said, but before he could finish his words, you know what you are, do you know it yourself? Yeah, Kong succeeded in interrupting. Okay, Nico Robin, the reminiscing is over. Facing the Straw Hats who love each other, CP9 Captain Rob Lucci became impatient. He looked at Frankie and said, Katie Fram. You came at the right time, we are looking for you. Frankie has been silent from beginning to end. It's not that he has no emotions, but that he is already on the verge of exploding. These guys actually made Bingshan, his senior brother, look like this. I didn't expect you guys to be from the government. Do you know, Lucci, Kaku, you group of foremen have always been the people I envy and respect the most. Frankie's calm voice came, but underneath this calm voice was a volcano about to erupt. But now, you guys have completely angered a pervert. After saying that, Frankie's entire body shot out like a cannonball. No, Frankie, run. Bingshan roared at the top of his lungs again. Whoosh. A figure blocked Frankie's path, and it was Bruno, the only one who was not an employee of Carrera Company. Seeing Bruno, Frankie's furious voice sounded, do you know how much I spent in your store? Get out of here. Open black lens bracket powerful iron fist close black lens bracket. Facing the sudden attack of the iron fist, Bruno closed his eyes calmly. Open black lens bracket iron block close black lens bracket. Boom. Iron Man versus Iron, evenly matched. But, open black lens bracket shave close black lens bracket. Lucci, Kaku and Khalifa appeared around Frankie instantly. Open black lens bracket fingergun times 4. Boom. A white mark was left on Frankie's front chest. Boom. Boom. Frankie's ribs were dented on both sides. Poof. And behind Frankie, a ball of blood spattered. This is Frankie's weakness in transforming people, he cannot transform his own backside. Lucci withdrew his bloody finger expressionlessly and said, I'm sorry, you are our target. Let us attack at the same time, you are proud enough. I didn't expect CP9 to be so ungrateful in martial arts. They started fighting in a group, and Frankie was killed in one fell swoop. Frankie, pervert, everyone exclaimed. Frankie, who was falling forward, suddenly gritted his teeth and forced himself to stand still. Don't hold on. Everyone here has exceeded the limits of the human body. Even if your body is as strong as steel, it is of no use. Rob Lucci turned into a claw with one hand and used the dragon claw hand to blast Frankie's head. But Frankie ignored him and tied up the iceberg with the chain turned into his right hand, using his last bit of strength to drag his good senior brother towards the straw hats. Lucci didn't care. Their target had been changed to Frankie, and the iceberg was no longer necessary to him. Boom. Iron-headed Frankie ate a big Lucci, and blood kept flowing down his forehead. Frankie fell unconscious with just one blow, but his body stood straight on the spot. The final stubbornness. What are you going to do to my shipwright? Luffy angrily stepped towards Lucci, but unfortunately Lucci took advantage of it easily. Rubber. Conquerors. Lucci frowned. The touch in his hand and the impact of his will couldn't be wrong. Taking advantage of Lucci's distraction, Luffy's other foot took advantage of the situation and turned into a whip. The rubber sickle successfully hooked Frankie to the side and landed faintly in the middle of the two groups of people. Lucci, who came back to his senses, was shocked and angry, and ordered Bruno, take Frankie away first. Impossible. Rubber. Luffy quickly punched Bruno in the direction. Machine gun. Iron. Lucci stopped Luffy's fist with disdain. Luffy's fist hit the opponent's chest hard, and with the dull impact, our captain frowned. So hard. This touch reminded him of his third brother. We are different from you pirates. But we master the technique called 6 styles. Brother, can you stop twitching your mouth? Say, you don't feel any pain. Faced with Lucci's harsh words, Kang immediately broke the bank. The principle is to speed up the blood flow, speed up the movement of the muscles, and make the muscles as tight as steel. The disadvantage is that they cannot move. The so-called immobility is also relative. If you develop the 6 styles to the limit, you will naturally become a master of domineering. The iron block corresponds to absolute control of the upper body. The ultimate training for feet and legs corresponding to shaving, moonwalk, and arashi legs. The destructive power of the finger gun is the hardening of concentrated domineering energy, so the finger gun is actually the most difficult. I remember the CP9 newcomers don't know how to point a gun. Paper painting requires understanding the return of life and sensing the opponent's movements through airflow. This is the basis of seeing, hearing and color. This is how Marine trains his domineering skills, allowing guys without talent to make up for their shortcomings with hard work. Ps. The above is based on the author's understanding. Please do not take it personally. Soda. Sanji. Grab Frankie. As soon as he finished speaking, Kang and the others rushed towards Frankie. Lan Jia. Seeing that their 6 styles were so disliked, long-nosed Kaku kicked out the wind blade and intercepted everyone. At the same time, he prepared a knife to pull the buttocks to open the eyes of these people. The slashing wave released by Lan Jia is actually an invisible airflow. If it is an ordinary person, he will basically not even know how to die. A huge slash wave came. Kang did not dodge, because Suoda took action. 2-blade style eagle wave. The 2 slashes collided with each other. They rubbed, crushed, and deformed each other, and finally exploded into a scattered gust of wind that swept through the entire room. I remember you used a saw. You have a long nose. Khalifa on the opposite side saw Kaku being stopped, and while exposing his underwear, a series of land kicks cut towards Kang and Sanji. Wind escape vacuum jade. Kang quickly formed a seal and shot out a bunch of wind blades. Although the principles were different, the 2 wind blades offset each other and also caused a storm to sweep through. Lan Jiao is a more difficult technique than shaving and moonwalk. It uses vibration frequency to generate a supersonic vacuum and send out a huge chop wave. This technique requires the leg muscles to be trained to the extreme. I feel it is not as good as using a knife. Our Sanji's eyes lit up. Isn't this tailor-made for him? After Kang finished explaining, he asked Sanji, leave Khalifa to you. The opponent is a woman. Sanji will not take action. Leave that horned head to me. Good. The 2 people approaching quickly separated from each other. Chicken intercepted Khalifa, while Sanji headed straight for Bruno. How do you know the 6 styles? Looking at the techniques used by Sanji and Kang, Khalifa on the opposite side was shocked. And what Kang said next directly made him break through his defense. Isn't it just a technique for exerting force on the legs? You will know it at a glance. Khalifa did not expect that the things she was proud of from elementary school to college would not only be rejected, but also be ruined. Angry, she jumped up, stepped on Moonwalk, and swung the thorn whip at Kang and Sanji, thinking of packing them away together. Open black lens bracket. The road of thorns close black lens bracket. Leave it to me. Don't look back. Kang Jinbaluo is in hand, and he crushes the thorn whip directly like cutting noodles. Roses with thorns, only flowers left. Come on, if there is no other way, let's skip the talk. Kang Sharingan suddenly appeared, sheathing the Jinpailao sword in his hand. Okay, I want you to know the consequences of irritating a woman. Khalifa was furious. Chapter 250 Robin's Betrayal, The World in the Door. Luffy vs Lucci, Kang vs Khalifa, Zoro vs Kaku, Chopper was treating Iceberg at the door, Nami and Usopp were still talking to Robin. So now, Sanji and Bruno become the key to snatch Frankie. Of course, the Straw Hats also have a trump card that is ready to support them, Nami. However, although she can transform into thunder, she cannot move people with her, which is a drawback. At this time, one person on the CP9 side did not take action. Nicole Robin, why don't you take action? What are you waiting for? Think of the consequences. Bruno's voice came. Faced with Bruno's threat, Robin, who had been paddling, finally took action. 12 rounds of flowers blooming. Exclamation mark question mark. 12 fancy arms grew out of Sanji's body, tying him up tightly. Sanji was instantly like a dog eating shit. If he wanted to move, he could only imitate maggots. However, at this time, Sanji had a happy smile on his face and kept rubbing his arms without resisting at all. Hee. The failure of LSP also allowed Bruno to successfully take Frankie away. Robin's ability is ineffective against Nami and Luffy, but it is basically invincible against others. Just like Kang often boasts, Robin's ability appears in people whose physique is not up to standard. As long as she wants to, it is basically an instant kill. Robin, what are you doing? CP9 was too overwhelmed to care for himself. Nami didn't understand why Robin had any reason to be hostile. Faced with Nami's confusion, Robin just glanced at her. Exclamation mark exclamation mark exclamation mark. Chopper, Usopp, and Nami all grew arms at the same time. Damn it, Miss Robin, why are you doing this? Dog-licking Sanji seemed to know what this woman was going to do. Nami transformed into thunder and broke free of her arm, but she looked at Robin with horror on her face. Because, click, click, the sound of Sanji, Chopper, and Usopp's bones breaking spread throughout the room. Are you serious? Nami's voice was filled with disbelief. She didn't understand what kind of threat could make Robin so determined to attack his friends. Open black lens bracket dazzling flowers big delphinium close black lens bracket. Wawa's arms instantly covered the ground and extended to the window of the lobby outside. The arms held the three of them and spun them all the way, and finally threw them all downstairs. Only half-bandaged Mr. Bingshan was left in place. Robin, you be asterisk 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 D. Nami's roar turned into an accusation against Robin. Her tears poured out and she turned into thunder and chased after him. Robin lowered his head and lowered his eyes, with mixed feelings in his heart. Are they dead? Of course not. Robin just covered their mouths and dislocated their limbs. Only Robin knew that everything she did was not for harm, but for protection. This was the best way she could think of. At this moment, a blushing Khalifa with knife wounds all over his body was kicked towards the B asterisk 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 D who attacked his partner. As for reaching this point, Nico Robin, Kang's voice contained uncontrollable anger. They are such a hindrance. This is the price you pay for coming to me. Robin's voice was equally cold and ruthless. Say it again. Kang's right eye was as sharp as a knife, staring at Robin in front of him. Although Kang knew that those guys were most likely fine, his dissatisfaction with Robin was already written on his face. Everyone is here to find you, so you can hurt your partners and throw them away with your backhand. What is this? Nicole Robin could feel the anger of the bird poop coffee. She lowered her head and did not dare to look at him, but silently took it from her chest. If you want to take action, consider the consequences. Then, she took out a black crow, which was tied up and had its mouth stuffed with cut cakes. It was full of threats. Kang, Murkrow. Kang didn't know whether to laugh or be angry. Open black lens bracket Susanoo close black lens bracket. The fiery red Susanoo rose from the ground, towering over the sky, occupying half of the banquet hall. Just tie it up. You dare to touch Dark Crow. I'll let you know why Khalifa's butt is so red. Kang's cold voice came to the two of them. Question mark question mark question mark. Facing Kang's shameless remarks, one word appeared in Robin and Khalifa's minds: rogue. Khalifa had to admit that this crimson demonic eye was really tricky. In the competition of speed, she found that she could not compete with him at all. The opponent not only mastered the technique of shaving, but also had an explosive power that she could not understand at all. The strange energy on the opponent's blade is something similar to domineering, and even iron block cannot stop it. Once paper painting's airflow perception cannot keep up, injury is certain. Now her weapon color can only cover one finger, which is the extent of using the finger gun and using her fingers to hold a knife. Unless your brain is abnormal. The undressed Khalifa stood up again and looked solemnly at Kang, who was now wrapped in bones. Now, again, this is an unheard of ability. But this situation. A woman's intuition made Khalifa instantly realize this was an opportunity. Someone once said, the larger a person with abilities is, the more clumsy they will be in agility. Shave. Khalifa disappeared and appeared next to Kang. Open black lens bracket Lanjiao close black lens bracket. Get away. Susan's transformed arm suddenly swung, like a cannon hitting a fly, and she flew away along with the slashing wave. Poof. Khalifa spit out a mouthful of blood in the air and landed heavily next to Robin. Whoever said this, I and he are incompatible with each other. As Kang, who was driving, showed his strength, the two of them kept retreating like little sheep. At this time, it seemed that no one could block Kang's blade. Try to use your abilities on me, Nico Robin. Kang said with a cup. Nicole Robin had never heard such a mean request and crossed her arms. I said, I won't go back with you. 30 rounds of flowers bloom. The 30 arms ignored Susanoo and were directly born on Kang. This. If I ask you to do it, do it. If I ask you to kiss me, will you kiss me? As Susanoo's arm suddenly raised, Dark Crow seemed to realize that his undercover career of, well-fed and well-housed, was about to end. That's when, squeak, a hole or door appeared under Kang's feet. Bruno, whoosh, Kang, who still wanted to use the licking attack, fell from the Susan. This is the disadvantage of the half-length Susan. His feet are his weaknesses. I go. Kang was dripping with cold sweat as he fell. Because below him is not the second floor, but a kind of space that Kang doesn't understand. Bruno showed a strange smile behind the door. This is another ability of the gate fruit. In addition to the gate of opening, the Esper can also use the gate created by the ability to connect to a gate world that does not belong to reality. This world is like a microcosm of reality. Once you fall into the third floor of the world in the gate, no one can get out except Bruno, who once again gate of opening. At this time, Khalifa saw the huge flaming palm stopped and breathed a long sigh of relief, realizing that Bruno had succeeded. Well done, Nicole Robin. Khalifa looked at Nicole Robin aside. It was obvious that the woman next to her didn't know what her partner was facing. Just as Khalifa was relaxing, Susan, who was beginning to disappear due to the lack of a driver, suddenly moved his big hand again. Sorry, it can be opened even if no one is around. Susan's big hand smacked in the direction of the two of them. Robin knew firsthand how strange ninjas were, and she would not let her guard down. Therefore, Robin escaped vigorously, and our beautiful secretary Khalifa was submerged under the palm of Tathagata. Boom. The ground of the entire building shook 3 times, and Kang shot a big hole in the ground on the third floor. Susanoo, so terrifying.